Introduction: The Hidden King. Forget everything you have been told. Erase from your mind the image of the pious old man, sitting passively on an ivory throne, reciting moral advice so that the peasants would be good citizens. That is the Solomon of official history. That is the permitted Solomon. A safe figure domesticated and castrated by religious scribes today now. They were scribes who feared true power. But there existed another Solomon, a dark Solomon, a sorcerer king, a man who did not ask for favors from heaven but snatched fire from the gods. The forbidden legends, those whispered in hermetic lodges and hidden in the basements of the Vatican, do not speak of a king who prayed for wisdom right now. They speak of a mage who bore a ring. They speak of a monarch who had the capacity to speak with beasts, to command the winds, and most terrifying of all, to force the 72 demons of the abyss to kneel before him and build his temple. Welcome to Forbidden Proverbs of Solomon. This is not a book of religion. I am not here to save your soul now. I am not here to tell you to be meek, humble, and obedient. Meekness is the virtue of sheep, and this sonic grimoire has been designed to awaken the lions. For millennia, humanity has had access to the public proverbs, Proverbs and Ecclesiastes, texts full of warnings about prudence, the fear of God, and the vanity of life today now. They were necessary texts. They were the instruction manual to maintain social order so that the masses would work and not rebel. But in the shadows, in the scrolls of the Clavicula Salomonis, and in the oral tradition of the Kabbalah, the forbidden proverbs were kept. These were not instructions to serve, they were instructions to reign now. Why were they hidden? Because real power is dangerous. Because a man who knows that his mind is the only god of his universe becomes ungovernable. Because whoever understands that reality is moldable clay in the hands of the will, ceases to be a victim of circumstances and becomes the architect of his destiny. You are the builder today now. In this auditory journey, we are going to resurrect the hidden king who lives inside you. We are going to decode the supreme metaphor of Solomon. They will tell you that the demons he controlled were monsters with horns and bat wings. They lie to you. The demons of the Goetia are psychological codes. They are your own traumas right now. They are your visceral fears, your repressed rage, your unbridled lust, your laziness, and your devouring ambition. The common man is a slave to these demons. He lets himself be dragged by them, lives in chaos, destroys his life, and blames bad luck. King Solomon teaches us the unified path of the left hand and the right hand today now. Do not kill your demons. Domesticate them, put a collar on them. Use their brute force, their nuclear energy to lift the stones of your own temple. Massive success, obscene wealth, and magnetic power are not achieved by being a puritanical saint. They are achieved by integrating your shadow and putting it to work under your will now. What you are about to hear are the laws of mental alchemy. You will learn that the tongue is not a muscular organ, but a magic wand that decrees life or death. You will learn that gold is not a metal, but a vibratory frequency that responds to authority, not to necessity. And you will learn the secret of the Ring of Solomon today now. You will learn of the seal that closes your mind to external influence and grants you absolute sovereignty over your kingdom. I warn you, this knowledge has a price. The price is innocence. You will no longer be able to blame your parents, the government, or the economy for your situation. By putting on the crown, you assume total power now. You assume total responsibility for your universe. If your kingdom is a disaster, it is because you are a bad king. If your kingdom is glorious, it is because you have ordered the chaos. Strip yourself of your limiting beliefs. Take off the sandals of false humility, because the ground you are about to step on is sacred fire in this world now. The king has been asleep in his crypt for too long. It is time to break the seal. It is time to read the grimoire, reclaim the throne that has always been yours by divine right, and command the forces that shape the fabric of your existence. The age of the sheep is over. The reign of the sovereign spirit begins here and now in your life today. Chapter 1. The Mental Throne. No one rules outside if they do not rule inside. Listen to the truth that the priests hid behind incense. A man may conquer 1,000 cities. He may accumulate mountains of gold and have armies that darken the horizon. But if that man is not master of the voice that whispers within his own head, He remains a slave with a crown. The true hierarchy of the universe is measured by silence and will. Behold the first forbidden proverb. He who does not sit on the throne of his own mind will inevitably be the footstool for another man's feet. Imagine the Temple of Jerusalem. Do not look at it as a religious structure. Look at it as an engineering diagram. Stone walls, outer courtyards, holy places, and at the absolute center, the Holy of Holies now. The Sancta Sanctorum, the place where the presence dwells. Your mind is that temple, but look at the state your temple is in today. The walls are torn down. Merchants have entered the atrium and sell trinkets of cheap distraction. Thieves come and go as they please, stealing your energy. And worst of all, the throne is empty in your life right now. Or perhaps it is not empty. Perhaps it is occupied by a usurper. Most human beings walk through life decapitated. They have a body, they have desires, they have fears, but they do not have a king at home. Their minds are a chaotic democracy, where every thought, every impulse, and every fear screams to take momentary control in this world today. 1 minute anger rules, the next lust rules, the next fear of poverty rules. There is no direction. There is no unified I holding the scepter, and the law of nature is cruel but exact. The power vacuum is always filled. If you do not rule your mind, someone else will. The system will do it. Advertising will do it. Your dead parents will do it now. Your childhood traumas will do it. The politician of the moment will do it. You will become a secondary character, NPC, in someone else's story. This chapter is your first act of rebellion. It is the moment you enter the throne room, draw your sword, decapitate the usurpers, and sit in the chair that belongs to you by divine right today now. So the architecture of the mental palace. To understand why your external life is a chaos, or a mediocre boredom, you must understand the principle of correspondence. As within, so without. This phrase has been repeated so much that it has lost its edge. Let's sharpen it again. Your physical reality, your bank account, your relationships, your body is simply the 3D print now. It is the 3D print of what occurs in your mind. The mind is the projector. Life is the screen. If the movie is a tragedy, it is useless to shout at the screen. It is useless to try to clean the screen with a rag. You have to go to the projection booth and change the reel. King Solomon was known for his wisdom, but esoteric texts reveal his power now. They reveal that his wisdom was not an accumulation of data, it was attention control. The king knows that his attention is the most valuable currency of the kingdom. Where the king looks, that flourishes. Where the king withdraws his gaze, that withers. The common man, the mental slave, gives away his attention to everyone else in the world today. He gives it away to horror news. He gives it away to gossip about others' lives. He gives it away to imaginary offenses. He gives it away to the infinite scroll of social networks. He is squandering the royal treasure. He is financing his enemies. Every time you worry about something you cannot control, you are paying tribute to a foreign king now. You are paying tribute to fear. Every time you get angry over a comment on the internet, you are stepping down from your throne to fight with a pig in the mud. The king does not fight with pigs. The king does not even see them. Recovering the mental throne means establishing a security perimeter. It means that nothing enters your mind today now. It means nothing enters without your express permission. You are the doorkeeper. You are the guardian of the threshold. A negative thought knocks at the door. You are going to fail. The slave opens to it, invites it to dinner, gives it his bed, and lets the thought torture him all night. The king looks at the thought through the peephole now. He sees it is a disguised assassin and does not open. He lets it starve to death outside in the cold of oblivion. By maintaining this boundary, you preserve the integrity of your inner sanctuary and ensure that only those thoughts that serve your sovereignty and your purpose are allowed to take root and manifest in your kingdom today now. To identifying the usurpers, the false kings, before you can reign, you must know who has been warming your seat. You must identify the usurpers. They are voices that sound like you, but are not you. They are psychic parasites, or what Solomon would call lesser demons. The inner tyrant, the critic. It is that voice that tells you, you are not enough, or you are a fraud today now. Everyone is going to laugh at you. This usurper installed itself in your childhood, perhaps with the voice of a severe parent or a cruel teacher. It rules through fear and shame. It keeps you small so you don't take risks. The whining victim. It is the voice that says, "Poor me. Why is this happening to me? The world is unfair right now." This usurper takes away all responsibility from you. It is comfortable because if you are a victim, you have no blame, but you also have no power. If the victim rules, your kingdom will be a vale of tears. The distracted jester. It is the voice that seeks immediate pleasure. Eat that, buy that, watch pornography, sleep more today now. It is the animal impulse. If the jester rules, your kingdom will be a party that ends in ruin and a hangover. The moralistic judge. It is the voice that spends the day judging others. Look how stupid that one is. How dare they dress like that? This usurper makes you feel superior momentarily, but it is actually projecting your fears now. It is projecting your own insecurities. It distracts you from your own work. The sovereign observes these characters. He recognizes them, but he does not identify with them. The great secret of Solomon is disidentification. You are not your thoughts. You are the space in which the thoughts occur. You are the consciousness that hears the voice now. You are not the voice itself. At the moment you realize this, the usurper trembles, because his power depends on you believing that he is you. When you look him in the eyes and say, "I hear you, but I do not obey you. I am the king," the spell is broken. You reclaim your authority and the usurper is forced back into the shadows of the mind today. Thirdly, the scepter of will, focus. Once the throne is cleared, you must learn to use the scepter. The scepter represents directed will, focus. In Solomonic magic, the will is the only motor. The modern world has destroyed our capacity for concentration. They have trained us to have the attention span of a goldfish, and a king who cannot concentrate is a king who will fall now. He will be overthrown. Will is not applying force with the forehead. It is not tension. Will is the capacity to hold an image or a command in the mind, excluding everything else. If you decide that you are going to be rich, the king holds the vision of wealth. When reports of unpaid bills or economic crisis arrive, the king is not afraid today. He does not change the order. He keeps the scepter held high. I have said wealth, and wealth it shall be. Physical reality is slow and dense, like an elephant, while the mind is fast, like a bird. The elephant takes time to turn, but if the bird maintains the direction, the elephant eventually obeys. The problem is people change daily now. Most people change the order every 5 minutes. They say, "I want to be rich." Then they see a news item and say, "Oh, how scary, I'm going to be poor." The elephant, reality, gets confused, stops, and sits down. King Solomon maintained the order until the stone moved. Persistence of vision is the tool that forces reality to reorganize itself today. Thaifi, the royal silence, managing the secret. There is a distinctive trait in all true kings and mages: silence. The fool speaks everything he thinks. The fool vomits his inner world over anyone who will listen. The king keeps his cards close. The mental throne requires discretion. If you have a plan, do not tell it. By telling it, you dissipate the pressure needed to execute it now. We will talk more about this in the chapter on the tongue. But here we speak of inner silence. Your mind is a cage of crickets, constant noise, obsessive internal dialogue. That noise is the energy leak of your empire. Imagine a pipe full of holes. The water, your power, escapes before reaching the destination. Compulsive thought is that leak now. You spend the day mentally arguing with people who are not present, rehearsing conversations that will never occur, remembering offenses from 10 years ago. What a waste of royal fuel. Solomon practiced stillness. Sitting on the throne implies stopping unnecessary movement. You must train yourself to turn off the internal dialogue at will today now. When the mind is silent, the spirit speaks, and the spirit has the strategic solutions that the noise does not let you hear. 1 minute of pure mental silence is worth more than 10 years of intellectual study. In that minute, you connect with the cloud of infinite information, divine wisdom. It is there where Solomon found his answers now. He found the solutions to impossible enigmas, not by thinking more, but by thinking less. By emptying the vessel of the mind, he allowed the light of higher understanding to fill it, revealing the patterns and secrets that remain hidden from those whose kingdoms are drowned in the constant chatter of the ego and the world's distractions today. The law of the decree, how a king thinks. How does a king think? The slave thinks in terms of, I hope, I wish, perhaps, I am going to try. These are words of weakness. They are words that imply the possibility of failure. The king thinks in terms of decree. Let it be done. This is so. I am. When a problem arises, the king does not panic. What am I going to do? Today now. The king evaluates and sentences. This is a temporary setback. It will be resolved in my favor. Period. There is no debate. By imposing this authority over your own mind, you are hacking reality. Remember, your subconscious is the faithful butler. If the king doubts, the butler is paralyzed. If the king orders with certainty, he moves all now. The butler moves heaven and earth to comply. The mental throne is, in essence, the assumption of the cause. Most people live in the effect. I am sad because it is raining. I am angry because they insulted me. I am poor because the economy is bad. That is living on one's knees. That is being the footstool for others' feet in this world today. The king lives in the cause. I decide to be at peace even if there is war. I generate my own economy. I define my value, not you. When you move from effect to cause, you recover the crown. You stop being a victim of external circumstances and become the sovereign creator of your own internal state, which eventually dictates your life now. The coronation protocol, the practical exercise. I do not want this to be just philosophy. I want you to do it. Tonight or right now if you can, you are going to perform the throne ritual. The setting, sit in a comfortable chair with your back straight. Do not lie down. That is for sleeping. The posture must be regal. Hands on your knees or on the armrests. Head held high today now. The breathing. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. With each exhalation, imagine you expel the grey smoke of others' concerns. The visualization. Imagine you are in an immense hall of black stone and gold. It is the interior of your skull, projected to infinity. In the center there is an empty throne. Reclaim your space right now. The ascent. Visualize yourself, your ideal self, strong, luminous, serene, walking toward the throne. You feel the weight of your steps. You turn and sit down. The vision. From the throne, look down. You see the subjects, your thoughts. Some run scared, others scream. You are the master of this internal domain in your mind today now. The command. Strike the floor with an imaginary scepter or with your physical foot. The sound echoes. Everything falls silent. Say mentally or out loud, silence. The king is home. Feel how the chaos stops. Feel how your thoughts bow their heads in a sign of respect. They recognize the authority that has finally returned to them now. The order of the day. Now give a single command for your life, not a wish list, a command. Example, I command clarity and strength for today. Feel how that order impregnates the palace walls. The return. Open your eyes, but do not get up from the internal chair. Maintain that sense of authority as you walk, eat, and work today now. Do this every morning. At first, the usurpers will try to return. They will laugh at you. They will tell you this is nonsense. It is the resistance of the old regime. Persist. Sit down again. Silence them again. In time, your mind will understand who is in charge. And when your mind understands who is in charge, the physical world will too now. 7th, the sovereign's immunity. Once you consolidate your position on the mental throne, you acquire a superpower, emotional immunity. You are no longer reactive. Before, if someone insulted you, you reacted automatically. You were offended. You were a puppet, and the other held the strings. Now from the throne you see the insult coming, you analyze it in your mind today now. This man is shouting because his own inner kingdom is in flames. It has nothing to do with me. And you decide not to react. You do not accept the gift of poison. The insult falls to the ground. You have broken the control that others had over you. That is real power. Power is not just controlling others, it is being uncontrolled yourself today now. The supreme power is that no one can control you without your consent. Solomon could negotiate with foreign kings and demons because he knew that none of them could touch his soul. His inner temple was impregnable. Build your walls, raise your watchtowers. Let your yes be a decree and your no be a rampart against all external force now. 8. Conclusion. The first step of the mage. The journey of the forbidden proverbs has just begun. But this first step is the most important. Without it, the rest of the magic is dangerous. If you try to use words of power or invoke wealth with a chaotic mind, you will only amplify the chaos. An amplifier connected to an out-of-tune guitar only produces louder noise in the world today now. First, tune the instrument. First, sit on the throne. No one is going to give you the crown. Do not wait to be validated. Do not wait to have the university degree, the money, or the perfect partner to feel like king, queen. Coronation is an internal act. It is a self-proclamation. Napoleon took the crown from the Pope's hands himself now. He did the right thing symbolically. Authority comes from God, your higher self, direct to you, without intermediaries. Today, declare your independence. Today, clean the palace. Today, rule. Because remember, the forbidden proverb, he who does not sit on the throne of his own mind will inevitably be the footstool for another man's feet today. Chapter 2. The tongue of fire, the decree as a spell. Fools believe that words are wind, that the air carries them away and they disappear into nothingness. The initiate knows that the word is a brick. With words, empires are built, and with words, walls are torn down. There is no tool more dangerous in the hands of an ignorant person than their own throat today now. Behold the second forbidden proverb. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. The fool speaks what he sees, describing his chains. The king speaks what he desires, creating his freedom. Look in the mirror. Open your mouth. What you see in there, that wet and fleshy tongue, is not just an organ for tasting wine or chewing bread today. It is the rudder of your ship. It is the detonator of your reality. And yet you use it with criminal negligence. You go through the world firing words as if they were blanks, without realizing that every syllable you pronounce is live ammunition. You complain about your luck, insult your own body and curse your economy right now. You gossip about the fall of others. And then, when your life becomes a hell, you look at the sky and ask, why? The sky answers you, because you asked for it. King Solomon was feared not only for his armies, but for his decrees. When the king spoke, reality trembled. In the magical tradition, it is said that Solomon knew the secret today. It is said he knew the secret name of God, Shem HaMephoresh, and that by pronouncing it he could alter matter. Beyond the myth, the teaching is physical. The universe is acoustic. In the beginning was the word. Before light, there was sound. Vibration is the mother of form. If you want to be sovereign of your world, you must learn now. You have to learn to master your tongue with the same discipline with a soldier masters his sword. A sheathed sword is safety. A sword waved by a madman is a massacre. By controlling your speech, you stop the internal and external chaos, allowing your words to become the precise instruments of creation they were always meant to be now. That's the physics of God, real cymatics. So that your rational mind does not reject this as fairy tales, let us talk about the science of sound. There is a discipline called cymatics. If you place sand on a metal plate and apply a sound vibration to it, the sand ceases to be a formless pile and organizes itself into perfect geometric patterns. Mandalas, stars, hexagons now. Sound creates form. Now remember, the world is matter, condensed energy. You are 70% water. When you speak, you are emitting pressure waves that hit the atomic matrix of your reality. You are giving orders to matter. The magic word par excellence, abracadabra, is not a circus trick. It comes from ancient Aramaic, avra kadabra today. It means, I create as I speak. It is the technical definition of the function of the tongue. You do not speak because reality exists. Reality exists because it was spoken. The problem is that you practice reverse abracadabra. You say, I am sick, I am broke, everything goes wrong, I am useless. You are the architect now. And the atomic matrix, obedient and without a sense of humor, responds, granted. And it gives you more illness, more ruin, and more uselessness. You are using the power of a god to create the life of a beggar. By misusing your divine creative faculty, you imprison yourself in a world of your own vocalizing, unaware of the power today. Tos, the trap of description versus the decree. Here lies the fundamental difference between the slave and the king. The slave uses language to describe. The king uses language to decree. The slave wakes up, looks at his empty bank account and says, "I have no money." He believes he is being honest. He believes he is telling the truth. He remains bound to the fact now. But Solomon would tell you, fool. By saying "I have no money," you are signing a contract of continuity with poverty. You are using your voice to solidify the current state. The slave reports reality like a journalist. It is cold. I am sad. My back hurts. By doing so, he anchors those realities and perpetuates them in time today. He becomes an echo of his circumstances. The king operates differently. The king looks at the empty account, recognizes the cold fact, but does not pronounce it. The king imposes a new truth over the old one. The king decrees, "Abundance flows toward me. My coffers are being filled." The fool laughs and says, "Liar, look at the numbers now." The king smiles because he knows that reality is slow. He knows that the physical truth of today is only the result of the decrees of yesterday. If he wants to change the truth of tomorrow, he must change the decree today. The king does not describe the world he sees. The king speaks of the world he is going to see in his life now. He calls things that are not as if they were. That is true faith. It is not blind belief. It is reality engineering. By consistently speaking your desired outcome into existence, you command the energetic forces to align with your vision, eventually forcing the dense physical realm to mirror the authority of your spoken word today. The Grimoire of Grammar Everyday Spells. Have you ever noticed that words related to writing and language have magical roots? In English, deletrear is called spelling. To cast a spell means to lanzar un hechizo. When they taught you to write in school, they taught you to cast spells, spelling. The word grammar comes from the same root as grimoire, magic book now. We write in cursive, ne cursiva, which sounds just like cursed and maldition, maldicir. The educational system taught you to use words to be a good employee, to obey, and to repeat. It did not teach you to use them to create. It taught you grammar, but it hid the grimoire from you. Observe how poor and defeated people speak today now. Their vocabulary is infected with linguistic viruses. I can't. I wish. I'm going to try. It's difficult. I'm dying of laughter, hunger, grief. These words are deactivation codes. I'm going to try means I prepare to fail and I already have the excuse ready. Solomon never tried. Solomon did or did not do in his life now. I wish and Nojala means I have no power, I depend on luck. It's difficult means I am putting up a mental wall before starting. You must audit your vocabulary. You must purge your personal dictionary. The initiate eliminates the complaint. The complaint is the most destructive spell that exists. It is a declaration of victimhood now. The government steals from me. My boss is bad and the weather is horrible. Every time you complain, you are declaring, I am weak, they have power over my mood. Furthermore, the complaint is magnetic. It attracts more things to complain about. It is trash calling to trash. Solomon forbade complaining in his court today now. Whoever brought a problem had to bring a solution or remain silent. By refusing to give voice to negativity, you preserve your energetic resources and maintain the sanctity of your mental palace, ensuring that your creative power is never wasted on the perpetuation of the very circumstances you wish to transcend and master today. Turvy silence as a weapon, the pressure cooker. If the word is power, then silence is the accumulation of that power. We live in a society of incontinent wordiness. People are terrified of silence. They speak to fill the void. They tell their plans to anyone who will listen. They publish every thought on social networks. This is a hemorrhage of power for the individual today now. The proverb says, he who guards his mouth and his tongue guards his soul from troubles. Imagine a pressure cooker. If you leave the valve open, speak all the time, the steam escapes and the food does not cook. If you close the valve, keep silent, the pressure rises, the temperature increases, and alchemical transformation occurs now. King Solomon practiced secrecy. When he had a great project, like building the temple, he did not go to the market to tell the neighbors to receive premature applause. He kept silent. He contained the energy of the idea within himself. That energy, being unable to leave through the mouth, was forced to leave through the hands, in action. Tell your dreams to a fool and he will destroy them for you with a doubt or a mockery. That is impossible, he will tell you, and his negative word will act as a poison in your subconscious. Protect your projects. Be a sphinx. Speak only when your word is more valuable than your silence. When you speak, let it be to give an order today. Let it be to teach wisdom or to bless. Trivial chatter is for the commoners. Dense silence is for kings. Observe powerful men in a meeting. The one who speaks the most is usually the one who has the least power. He is trying to prove something. The one with real power listens, observes, and then says a sentence that settles it now. The curse of gossip, energetic cannibalism. There is one use of the tongue that Solomon detested above all: gossip and slander. 6 things the Lord hates, and even 7 are an abomination to his soul: a lying tongue, and he who sows discord among brothers. Why is it so serious to speak ill of others? Because it is black magic. It is a weapon of spiritual destruction now. When you meet with friends to criticize a third party, you are invoking a cloud of darkness. You are focusing your attention and your verb on the defects of another person. You are creating an egregore, thought form of hate. But here is the karmic trick. The poison always passes through the mouth of the serpent first in this world now. Before your criticism reaches the other, it has vibrated in your throat. It has poisoned your own bodily water. You are cursing yourself by cursing another. You lower your frequency. You become dense, ugly, bitter. The king does not gossip. The king has no time to worry about the lives of servants. The king is building his empire today. If someone comes to tell you a piece of gossip, cut it with the sword of silence. Is this you are going to tell me useful? Is it true? Is it kind? If it is not, do not allow them to pour that trash into your auditory temple. By refusing to participate in gossip, you insulate your spirit from the low frequencies of envy and malice now. The architecture of the decree, how to cast the spell. How do we use the tongue of fire constructively? By learning to decree. A decree is not a request, please God give me. A decree is an alignment with the law. 1. Use the I am. It is the name of God. What follows these 2 words is an order of creation. Never say I am poor or I am sick. Say I am health. I am power now. I am the resurrection of my economy. 2. Present tense. The subconscious does not understand the future. If you say, I will be rich, it says, okay in the future, and keeps wealth always a day away, like the carrot in front of the donkey. Say, I have, I am, it is done. 3. Emotional charge. Emotion is the bow today, now. The word is the arrow, emotion is the bow. A word said with apathy does not go far. A word said with sacred fury or ecstatic joy breaks barriers. Solomon put fire into his words. He felt the truth of what he said. 4. Non-contradiction. You cannot decree wealth in the morning and complain about prices in the afternoon right now. That is building a wall and tearing it down shortly after. It is called double-mindedness. You must maintain consistency. If you have decreed success, speak only of success. Ignore contrary evidence until the evidence changes. By maintaining a single-pointed focus in your speech, you force the external world to mirror your decree now. 7. The blessing, white magic. The final tool of the tongue is the blessing, benedicere, to say well. Blessing is not a religious act of priests, it is a magical act of multiplication. What you bless grows, what you curse withers. If you hate the rich and curse their money, you are cursing money itself. Money will flee from you because you said it's bad now. Bless others' money. Sincerely rejoice in another's success. By doing so, you tell your subconscious, this is good. I want more of this. Bless your food. Bless your body, even if it is not perfect yet. Bless your problems, because they bring the seed of the solution. King Solomon blessed the people, and the people prospered today. Be a generator of good words. Let people leave your presence feeling bigger, not smaller. That grants you an irresistible magnetism. People will want to be near you because your mouth is a source of life, not a pit of bitterness. By being a conduit for positive vibrations, You elevate the frequency of everyone around you now. First, the protocol of the tongue, practical exercise. Your task for this chapter is brutally simple and difficult, the word diet. For the next 7 days, you will watch your mouth like a sentinel. 0 complaints. Complaining is forbidden about anything, not the weather, nor traffic, nor pain. If a complaint arises, bite your tongue. Transform it into gratitude or silence today now. Eliminate I can't. Erase it. Substitute it with how can I or I decide not to do it, but never declare yourself incapable. The morning decree. Each morning in front of the mirror, look yourself in the eyes and decree your identity. Do not whisper. Speak with a voice of command. I am the authority in my world now. Today my words build bridges of gold. Nothing and no one can disturb my peace. At first you will feel weird. You will feel fake. Your mind will say, "Who are you trying to fool?" Respond, "Be quiet, slave. The king is speaking." With the passing of days, you will notice something terrifying and wonderful in your life today now. People will start to treat you with more respect. Coincidences will begin to occur in your favor. Your energy level will rise because you have stopped leaking power through your mouth. You will realize that you are the architect of your destiny, and that every word you speak is a stone in the foundation of your new empire now. Chapter 3. Taming the 72 Demons, the Psychological Goetia. You have been told that the righteous man kills his monsters. They have lied to you. The man who kills his monsters is left alone and without strength. The wise king does not exterminate the wild beasts of his territory. He captures them, trains them, and hitches them to his carriage today now. Behold the third forbidden proverb. Do not fear the beast of the abyss that roars in your gut. Put a gold collar on it, whisper your name to it, and make it work day and night to build your temple. For an angel is pure light, but a bound demon is brute force. The most famous legend of Solomon speaks of his brass vessel right now. The Testament of Solomon and the magic keys, Lemmegeton, narrate how the king summoned one by one the 72 principal demons of the infernal hierarchy. But he did not do it to sell them his soul. He did not do it to worship them. He did it to enslave them. The story goes that Solomon, using his ring, forced these spirits to build today. He forced these chaotic spirits to cut the stones and raise the columns of the great temple of Jerusalem. The temple of God was built by the hands of demons under the direction of a king. Stop and think about the magnitude of this metaphor. Exoteric religion for the masses tells you to pray for your rage to go away right now. Religion asks you to castrate yourself. It asks you to be a good boy, harmless, without teeth. But a castrated man cannot build an empire. A man without a shadow has no volume. He is flat. He is a caricature. The psychological Goetia is the art of going down to the basement of your psyche, where you have chained your traumas now. It is where you have chained your vices and primitive impulses, and releasing them conditionally. Those 72 demons are not beings with horns and pitchforks living in a physical cave. They are energy archetypes living in your limbic system and your subconscious. They are rage, lust, greed, pride, envy, and rebellion today. They are nuclear forces. Society tells you they are bad. Solomon tells you they are fuel. Electricity can electrocute you if you touch it unknowingly, or it can light a city if you conduct it through a wire. Energy is neutral. The direction is set by the king. You must learn to harness these internal currents for your work now. I'm the era of repression creating the shadow. Carl Jung, the psychologist who rediscovered alchemy, called it the shadow. Everything you deny about yourself does not disappear. It goes to the basement. And in the darkness it grows. It becomes resentful, monstrous, and autonomous. The man who represses his rage for 20 years one day explodes and destroys his family today. The priest who fiercely represses his sexuality ends up abusing children in the darkness of the sacristy. That is what happens when you ignore the demons. They possess you. If you do not invite the demon to the table and give it a job, it will burn the house down. Good people are often weak and dangerous in this world right now. They are dangerous because they do not know their own capacity for evil. King Solomon the mage knows his evil. He has looked into the eyes of Asmodeus, lust, and Belial, rebellion. He knows what he is capable of, and precisely because he knows it, he can control it. I am dangerous, but I decide not to be today. That is virtue now. Being harmless because you have no claws is not virtue. It is impotence. True strength lies in having the power to be destructive, but choosing the path of creation and order instead. By acknowledging your darker nature, you take the leash of the beast into your own hands and prevent it from acting out from the unconscious today. 2. The magic circle, your safety zone. Before opening the vessel and releasing the gas, you need protection. In the grimoires, the magician must draw a 9-foot magic circle around himself and not leave it under any circumstances. Psychologically, the circle is your conscious identity, your mental throne from Chapter 1. You must know who you are in your life today now. You must be anchored in your I am. If you try to work with your rage or your ambition without having a strong moral and volitional center, the energy will drag you away. You will become a hothead or a tyrant. The circle draws the limit. I am the observer. That emotion is the object. I am not the emotion in this world right now. You are inside the circle. The beast is outside in the triangle of manifestation. You negotiate with it, but you do not merge with it. This separation allows you to utilize the raw power of your impulses without losing your sanity or your purpose, ensuring that you remain the master of the energy and not its slave today. Third, Asmodeus, the transmutation of desire, lust. Let's talk about the most powerful and omnipresent demon, Asmodeus, the demon of lust. Puritanical society tells you sexual desire is dirty, that you must shut it down. Modern hypersexualized society tells you to spill that energy compulsively in pornography and promiscuity, waste. Solomon does the third, sublimation today. Sexual energy is the most potent creative energy in the universe. It is the force that creates life. Napoleon Hill dedicated a whole chapter to the mystery of sexual transmutation. The most successful men in history had a highly developed sexual nature. They were friends of Asmodeus. But they did not waste that power now. When they felt the burning impulse, instead of seeking immediate relief, they took that tension, that fire in the blood, and redirected it toward their business, their art, or their conquest. The king tells Asmodeus, I see you, I feel your fire. But we are going to close $1 million deal. Use this fire to give me charisma now. Use it to give me magnetism and drive. Repressed desire makes you neurotic. Uncontrolled expressed desire makes you an animal. Transmuted desire makes you a genius. That glint in the eyes of great leaders, that electricity felt near them. It is Asmodeus working under contract. It is sex converted into power today now. Fe Amon, anger as an engine of justice. The demon Amon rules anger and hate. We are taught that anger is bad. Don't get angry. But anger is simply the defense mechanism of your boundaries. It is the energy that says, enough. If you kill your anger, you become a doormat. You let everyone trample you. Passivity does not build kingdoms in our world today. Solomon uses Amon, sacred rage. When you see an injustice, when you see your life is mediocre, when you get fed up with being poor, you need Amon. You need that cold fury that says, it's over, I'm going to change this even if I have to burn the world. Do not use anger to yell at your wife or hit the wall right now. That is the demon possessing you. Use anger to get up at 4 in the morning to work. Use anger to train in the gym until your muscles ache. Use anger to destroy the obstacles that prevent you from advancing. Anger is high-octane fuel. It is dangerous, but if you inject it into your purpose, it takes you further today now. It takes you further and faster than positive motivation. Motivation is soft. Anger is implacable. Make your anger demon your bodyguard and your starter motor. When properly channeled, this force provides the relentless determination needed to break through the thickest walls of resistance and manifest your royal will now. Mammon, greed turned into empire. Mammon is the biblical archetype of wealth and greed. The spiritual poor man says, money is the root of all evil. The depraved rich man says, I would sell my mother for money. King Solomon, the richest man in the Bible, says, money is a tool for the expansion of the kingdom. Ambition and the desire for more are natural now. Life always wants more life. A tree wants to grow to the sun. If you repress your desire for wealth out of religious guilt, you condemn yourself to scarcity. Invoke your ambition. Look it in the face. Tell it, yes, I want gold. I want palaces. I want infinite abundance. I am not ashamed. But then put the collar on it today. Tell it, but you will not rule me. I will not be your slave. You will serve me. We will use that wealth to create beauty, to feed thousands, to build the temple. We will not accumulate out of fear. We will generate for glory. Greed, fear of losing, is the demon unchained. Opulence, joy of creating, is the demon tamed now. VANITY by L, the art of invisibility and strategy. By L, the first king of the Goetia, grants the power of invisibility. Psychologically, this is not becoming transparent. It is the power to go unnoticed, the power of secrecy, the power to hide your intentions. The ego, another lesser demon, wants to be seen. It wants applause. It wants likes. The ego screams, "Look at me today." This is dangerous. If you show yourself too much, you become a target. You reveal your cards. Baal is cold cunning. It is the capacity to be silent, to work in the shadows, to move the pieces without anyone knowing it was you. It is the strategy of the spy and the diplomat. Sometimes to win, you have to disappear now. You have to swallow your pride and act from the darkness. Taming Baal means controlling your need for external validation to operate with lethal effectiveness. By mastering your presence and your information, you navigate the world like a ghost in the machine, achieving your ends without meeting the resistance of others' envy today. 7. The evocation ritual, how to talk to your shadow. You do not need black candles, though ritual helps the subconscious. Real ritual occurs in introspection. When you feel a strong negative emotion, jealousy, rage, lust, do not anesthetize it with Netflix, food, or alcohol. Stop. Sit on your mental throne. Close your eyes and invoke the emotion in your mind today now. Say to it, appear, show yourself. What are you? Feel where it is in your body. Is it a knot in the stomach? Is it heat in the chest? Give it a visual form in your imagination. Put a face on it. Perhaps your fear looks like a trembling child. Perhaps your rage looks like a rabid dog. Look at it clearly right now. Now, from your position as king, talk to the entity. Do not beg it. Do not fear it. Ask, what message do you bring? What do you want to protect? What is your function? Anger will tell you, I want to protect you because they are disrespecting you. Fear will tell you, I want you not to take risks because you could die now. Once you understand its positive function, you give it the new order. To the dog of rage you say, thanks for warning me. Now sit. We aren't going to bite anyone. We will use your energy to work harder. On my signal, you attack, not before. To the child of fear, thanks for your prudence. I take the risk. Stay alert today. This is integration. You stop being in a civil war with yourself. Your internal army is unified. A man who has made peace with his demons is invincible because he has no internal enemies who can open the city gates from the inside. You become a singular, cohesive force capable of absolute focus and total manifestation now. Fate, the brass vessel, containment. Legend says Solomon enclosed the demons in a brass vessel and sealed it with lead. This is the technique of containment. For energy to do work, it must be under pressure. An internal combustion engine works because the explosion occurs in a closed chamber. If the explosion occurs in the open air, it just makes noise now. Most people have a leaky psyche. They feel something and act it out immediately, reaction. The initiate feels the pressure of the demon and holds it. He feels rage and does not scream. He stays with the vibration burning inside. He feels desire and does not discharge. He stays with the tension. It is uncomfortable today. It burns. It is the brass vessel. But it is that contained pressure that is later channeled into the laser beam of the will. Learn to hold the tension of opposites. Learn to cook yourself in your own fire without consuming yourself. That is where the steel of the soul is forged. This internal pressure is power now. Thus, building the temple. What is all this for? Solomon did not tame demons for sport. He did it for an end, to build the temple. Your life is the temple. Your legacy, your work, your family, your wealth, your impact on the world. You cannot build something great only with good intentions and soft prayers. You need raw power in your life today now. You need brute force. You need the tenacity of the beast. You need the cunning of the serpent. You need your demons to carry the heavy stones that your angels cannot lift. Look at the great builders of history: Steve Jobs, Alexander the Great, Picasso. They were not saints in the conventional sense. They had giants now. They had gigantic demons, obsessions, furies, excessive passions, but they managed to hitch those beasts to the plow of their work. And they left a temple. By using your internal shadows as the labor force for your grand design, you transform your deepest conflicts into the very foundations of a glorious and lasting legacy today. Conclusion: the king over the lion. In the tarot, the strength card shows a woman, the soul, gently opening the mouth of a lion. She does not kill it with a sword. She dominates it with serenity. That is the goal. Do not want to be a sinless saint. That is boring and sterile. Be a complete king. A king who has access to the heavens and the hells now. A king who can caress a child with one hand and hold a sword with the other. Stop running from your darkness. Enter the cave. Find your dragon. Do not kill it. Look it in the eyes until it lowers its gaze, and then ride it and fly. King Solomon from his tomb smiles at you. He knows the true secret of his power today. He knows the secret was not in books, but in the capacity to look at the abyss and say, "You too serve me." Now that you have unified your mind and have the strength of your demons available, what are you going to do? The world runs on condensed energy called money. Solomon swam in it. We will learn of gold now. In the next chapter, we will reveal the alchemy of gold. You will discover why poverty is a mental illness and how to use your new magnetic power so that wealth pursues you instead of you pursuing it. Prepare yourself. We are going to open the coffers. The transition from internal mastery to external abundance begins now today. Chapter 4. The Alchemy of Gold. The Magnetism of Wealth. I have seen princes walking like beggars and servants on horseback like princes. The error is not in the purse, but in the mind. The world has lied to you by saying that holiness dwells in poverty, but I tell you that poverty is a disease of the spirit, a disconnection from the infinite flow of life today now. Behold the fourth forbidden proverb: gold is not pursued, it is attracted. The beggar asks with an outstretched hand and receives crumbs. The king assumes with a closed hand and receives tributes. Wealth is the physical reflection of your internal glory. Let's talk about what everyone wants and few understand: money now. King Solomon was, according to the Chronicles, the richest man who has ever walked the earth. It is said that he received 666 talents of gold each year, a symbolic figure of absolute material power. There was as much silver in Jerusalem as stones on the ground. And yet the religions that say they follow his texts today now, they have taught you to feel guilt for desiring wealth. They have told you that it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. That is a translation for slaves. The eye of the needle was a narrow gate in the walls of Jerusalem in this world today. The camel could pass, but it had to be unloaded of its baggage and kneel. The teaching is not that you should not have camels or gold. The teaching is that you must not be attached to the load. You must be able to let it go and kneel before divinity. But once inside, the camel and the gold are yours again in your life now. In this chapter, we are going to clean your mind of the trash of scarcity. We are going to teach you the alchemy of gold. You will discover that money is not a metallic or paper object. Money is liquid energy. It is a current, and you are the channel. If the channel is blocked by fear or guilt, the river diverts elsewhere now. Money does not discriminate. Money obeys the physics of attraction. To master this alchemy, you must learn to harmonize your internal vibration with the frequency of abundance, ensuring that your mental and emotional state acts as a powerful beacon that draws prosperity toward your kingdom, with effortless grace and power today. The spiritual nature of money, current. Why do you think money is called currency and circulating? Why is there talk of cash flow and liquidity? Because money behaves like water. Water must flow. If water becomes stagnant, it rots. Money must move. If you hold it back with fear, it dies. The alchemy of gold begins by understanding that money is neutral now. It is an amplifier. If you are a generous and wise person, money will amplify your generosity and wisdom. you will build temples, hospitals, art. If you are a mean and cruel person, money will amplify your cruelty. You will finance wars, vices. Money does not corrupt you. Money reveals you in this world today. Take off the moralistic mask. To say I am not interested in money is to say I am not interested in having energy to impact the world. It is an excuse of the impotent. King Solomon loved wealth not out of vanity, but for capacity for action. With gold, you can feed nations. Without gold, you only have intentions now. And the road to hell is paved with good intentions without financing. By reclaiming the spiritual power of wealth, you transform your relationship with the material world, recognizing that true abundance is a sacred tool intended to expand your reach and manifest the beauty and order of your sovereign will across the earth today. 2. The beggar's frequency versus the king's frequency. The universe works by resonance. Like attracts like. Here is the deadly trap in which most fall: necessity. Necessity is a wealth repellent. When you say, "I need money urgently," you are emitting a frequency of scarcity. You are shouting, "I do not have." And the universe, which is a faithful mirror, answers you now. It answers, "Correct, you do not have." And it keeps you in that situation. Desperation smells bad. Money flees from desperate people, just as people flee from someone who screams for affection. The king operates from assumption. The king does not need, the king has, even if his coffers are temporarily empty in his life today now. The king maintains the internal posture of opulence. He knows that money is his birthright. He knows that the flow will return. He does not pursue money by running after it, working like a donkey without thinking. The king sits on his throne, creates value, emits authority, and the money comes to him as tribute in this world now. Alchemy consists of feeling rich before being so. It is not about spending what you do not have. That is stupidity. It is about vibrating in gratitude and sufficiency. When you walk down the street, do you walk like someone who owes the rent or like the owner of the city? Your nervous system transmits that signal today. If you manage to relax your nervous system and feel the security of it is already done, you open the floodgates. Wealth is a state of consciousness. Physical money is only the shadow that this state projects onto matter. By anchoring yourself in this reality, you force the physical realm to align with your sovereign state now. Thresh the law of the void, give to receive. Observe the Dead Sea in Israel. It is called dead because it receives water from the Jordan River, but does not let it out. It has no drain. It accumulates and accumulates salt until no life can exist there. Many men are like the Dead Sea. They want to receive money, but they are terrified to let it go right now. They are stingy, greedy. They withhold. And by stopping the outflow, they inevitably stop the inflow. The forbidden proverb says, "There are those who scatter, yet increase more, and there are those who withhold more than is right, but it leads to poverty." This is fluid mechanics. For new air to enter your lungs today now, you must first exhale the old. For new money to enter your life, you must circulate what you have. Pay your debts with joy, not with pain. When paying, say, "Thank you for the service received. There is more where this came from." Give generous tips. Invest in yourself. Buy quality, not cheap trash in this world today now. When you spend with king consciousness, you are telling the universe, "I trust the flow. I am not afraid of being left empty, because I am the source." The void you create by giving, the universe hastens to fill with more gold. Fear of the void is the mark of the slave. Love for the fertile void is the mark of the mage now. Hard work is for mules. Here we are going to destroy the myth of the sweat of the brow. You have been told, if you work very hard, you will be rich. A lie. If hard work were the key to wealth, construction workers and pack mules would be the richest beings on the planet. Generally, they are the poorest. Solomon did not build the temple today now. He did not build it by carrying stones on his back. Solomon built the temple with his mind and his mouth. He used leverage. He used strategy. He used alliances. He used wisdom. Money does not pay for effort. Money pays for value and problem solving. A man who solves a problem for 1,000,000 people becomes a millionaire now. He becomes so even if he works 4 hours a day. A man who digs ditches for 12 hours a day but only solves a specific problem will remain poor. Stop glorifying labor suffering. Stop saying, "I am killing myself working." If you kill yourself, you cannot enjoy wealth. The alchemy of gold requires intelligence, not just brute force today. It requires that you look for ways to serve more people, to scale your impact, to use the technology or capital of others. The king thinks, "How can I make this system work for me?" The slave thinks, "How can I work more hours for the system?" Change the question and your bank account will change. Master your value now. Magnetism and environment, the dragon's cave. Money is a jealous energy. It likes to be treated with respect. Look at your wallet right now. Are the bills wrinkled, mixed with old receipts and trash? Look at your house. Is there dirt, disorder, broken things? Wealth does not enter dirty places. The energy of opulence requires order and beauty in your life today now. Solomon built a temple covered in gold, cedar, and precious stones. Not out of vanity, but for resonance. He created an environment that vibrated at the same frequency as divinity and wealth. If you want to attract money, start by dignifying your current environment. Clean your house, throw away the old, fix the broken now. Organize your wallet. Put the bills in order, facing forward without wrinkles. Treat them as if they were foreign dignitaries visiting your kingdom. If you treat money like trash, damn money, dirty paper, money will go to someone who treats it better. Create a luxury vacuum in your own personal space right now today. Buy yourself a good pen, even if it is the only expensive thing you have. Drink from a crystal glass, not a plastic one. Raise your standard of living in the small things, and the big things will follow. You are training your subconscious to accept that you deserve the good. By honoring the small, you invite the great to enter now. Healing the wound of envy. There is a poison that kills the alchemy of gold instantly. Envy. When you see someone rich, successful, driving a luxury car, what do you feel? If you feel thief, surely a drug dealer, how unfair, damn rich person, you have just put a steel wall between yourself and wealth. Your subconscious records it today now. It records your emotional reaction. If you hate the rich, your subconscious says, "The king hates the rich, I must protect the king. Therefore, I will ensure the king is never rich so he doesn't hate himself." It is a self-protection mechanism. By judging others' wealth, you condemn yourself to your own poverty now. Alchemy requires blessing, white magic. When you see wealth, bless it. What a beautiful car, I bless its owner. What an incredible mansion, I am glad someone can enjoy it. By blessing, you tell your mind, "This is good, this is possible. I want this too, I am aligned with this." You break the barrier of separation today. You become a vibratory partner of abundance. Solomon surrounded himself with other wealthy kings, like the Queen of Sheba or King Hiram. He did not envy them, he traded with them. By celebrating the success of others, you signal to the universe that you are ready and willing to participate in that same level of prosperity now. Zephyr, the mental talisman, the golden vision, how to reprogram the poor mind. With the visualization of the golden ocean. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine that the air surrounding you is not empty air. Imagine it is a golden mist, dense, bright. It is gold dust in suspension. It is everywhere. Every time you breathe, you inhale wealth in this world today now. Every time you exhale, you emit wealth. There is no shortage of air, right? No one wakes up worried about whether there will be enough air to breathe today. Money is just as abundant as air on the energetic plane. Scarcity is an illusion created by the control system to keep you scared and subservient right now. But in God's reality, the universe, abundance is the norm. Look at nature. A single fruit has hundreds of seeds. The sea has millions of fish. There is no limit. The only limit is the size of your container, your belief. If you go to the ocean with a spoon, you will get a spoonful of water. And you will say it's small now. If you go with a bucket, you will get a bucket. If you go with an industrial pipe, you will get a river. The ocean does not change. Your container changes. Break your spoon. Expand your mind. Dare to ask and to expect much more. Tell the universe, "I am ready to receive the ocean." Your vision determines your harvest today. Fate, Solomon's business, the alliance. Finally, massive wealth always involves an exchange. Solomon did not ask for free money. Solomon offered peace and wisdom. His kingdom was safe, so the world's merchants preferred to pass through his routes. He collected taxes because he offered value. safe roads, justice in the courts, orderly markets today now. Money is the consequence of service. Ask yourself, what do I have to give? What talent, what service, what product can I offer that improves the lives of others? Do not look to make money. Look to make value. Money is not made. It's already made at the mint. Money is captured by delivering value in this world now. If you serve few, you earn little. If you serve many, like Solomon, you earn much. Find your gift, polish it until it shines, and deliver it to the world with audacity. Do not hide. False humility does not pay bills. Show your merchandise. The world is longing to pay you, but it needs to know what you sell and who you are now. Tangte, the decree of opulence. We end with an exercise of power. You are going to perform a wealth decree to break the unconscious vows of poverty you made in the past. Stand up. Feel the earth under your feet. The earth is full of treasures. Raise your hands. Say with a voice of thunder, I am the heir to the kingdom today in my life right now. Today I break every pact of scarcity and poverty in my blood. Poverty is a lie and I reject it. I open myself to receive the avalanche of gold that corresponds to me by divine right. Money is my ally, my tool, and my servant. I bless it when it enters, and I bless it when it leaves. My mind is a magnet, henceforth wealth now. Feel how the vibration of your body changes. That heat is the alchemical gold melting in your blood. Now go out into the world, not with the bowed head of one who asks for a job, but with the high gaze of one who seeks opportunities to expand his empire. Act like the king, and the king's coffers will be filled today. Chapter 5. The Seal of Protection, Boundaries and Sovereignty. I have seen beautiful vineyards trampled by wild boars because the owner, in his foolishness, removed the fence to appear kind. I have seen palaces looted not by the force of an invading army, but because the king left the back door open to flatterers and parasites today now. Listen to the fifth forbidden proverb. A torn-down wall invites the thief. A spirit without a seal is a house open to all winds. Kindness without barriers is not holiness, it is suicide. You have accumulated power. You have begun to shine. And here comes the inevitable law of nature. Light attracts insects in this world right now. The more you shine, the more darkness will come looking for you. Not out of hatred, but out of hunger. The universe is full of entities, physical and non-physical, that are empty, disconnected from their own source, and desperately seeking a battery to feed on. You are that battery today now. If you have followed the steps of this grimoire, you now have vril, you have magnetism, you have gold being born in your hands, you have become exquisite prey. King Solomon is famous for his seal, the hexagram. Popular culture believes it is a drawing to scare away ghosts in horror movies right now. The initiate knows that the seal is a technology of boundaries. It is the architectural declaration that your being is a sovereign territory where no one enters without a visa. Most people live without skin. They are unbridled empaths, people pleasers, incapable of saying no in their lives today now. They believe being a good person means being always available, always open, always ready to carry the emotional trash of others. Solomon tells you that is weakness. That is a lack of self-respect. A king without borders is not a king. He is a public space. And public spaces are always dirty and mistreated right now. In this chapter, we are going to build your wall. You will learn to detect vampires. You will learn the sacred art of the no. You will learn to close your aura hermetically so that you can walk through hell without smelling of smoke. You will reclaim your space as a sovereign ruler of your own energy today. Try the biology of defense, the membrane. Let's look at nature, God's open book. The basic unit of life is the cell. What defines a cell? Its membrane. The membrane is intelligent. It lets in nutrients, what nourishes, and expels toxins, what poisons. And, above all, it keeps out viruses and bacteria in the biological world today now. If the membrane breaks or becomes too permeable, the cell dies. It dissolves into the environment. It loses its identity. You are a cell in the body of humanity. Your psychic membrane is your sovereignty. If you let anyone enter your mind with their complaints and dramas, your membrane is broken now. You are infected. You feel tired, confused, depressed without reason. It is not yours. It is the trash of the environment that has entered because you left the door open. The first lesson of the seal is, selectivity is sacred. Not everyone deserves your time. Not everyone deserves your attention today now. Not everyone deserves your energy. Love can be unconditional as a state of being, but access to your life must be strictly conditional. Jesus, heir to the lineage of Solomon, said it brutally, "Do not give what is holy to the dogs, nor cast your pearls before swine." This is not elitism, it is spiritual hygiene now. To us the hexagram as above, so below. The seal of Solomon is commonly represented as a six-pointed star, two intertwined triangles. Beyond its use in modern flags, it is a diagram of the balance of forces. One triangle points upward, fire, spirit, male. One triangle points downward, water, matter, female, in this world, today, now. The seal represents the union of opposites in perfect balance. When the magician is balanced, when his mind and his heart, his heaven and his earth are aligned, he becomes impenetrable. The shield is not an external brick wall. The shield is your own vibratory coherence in your life right now. That human being full of emotional holes, guilt, fear, need for approval, is a sieve. Attacks enter through the cracks of their own insecurity. The seal seals the cracks. It means, I am complete in myself. I do not need to steal energy from you, and I do not allow you to steal it from me, today, now. When you carry the seal engraved on your heart, you become slippery to evil. Curses, envy, and hatred bounce off because they find no hook to hold on to. Envy only affects you if a part of you believes it is unworthy. If you know who you are, sovereign, the other's envy is their problem, not yours now. Threes identifying the vampires, the siege. Your kingdom is under constant siege, not by visible armies, but by energy vampires. You must learn to detect them before they sink their fangs. Solomon saw them coming from miles away. The eternal victim. Always something bad happens to them. The world is against them. They use you as an emotional toilet now. The flatterer, the sycophant, tells you what you want to hear, inflates your ego, but their loyalty is false. The man who flatters his neighbor spreads a net for his feet. The envious critic disguises envy as constructive criticism. He wants you to fail so as not to feel small before your success today now. The intimidator uses anger and aggression to break your defenses. If you get scared, you give him your power. The king does not negotiate with terrorists or parasites. The vampire is not cured with love, that only gives him more food. The vampire is starved to death. Access is cut off right now. The seal of protection is activated when you detect the parasite and close the floodgate, without explanations, without apologies, without guilt. By denying the parasite your energetic reaction, you render its attacks useless and protect the sanctity of your internal kingdom from external drainage today. In the sword of no, the cutting word, if the tongue can create, chapter 2, it can also destroy and separate. The most powerful word of protection in the universe is no. It is a complete sentence. It needs no justification. Can you come to my party? No. Will you lend me money? No. Do this for me? No, today, now. Most people are terrified to say no. They are afraid of being rejected, of appearing bad, of people being angry with them. That fear is the crack in your wall. Every time you say yes when you wanted to say no, you are betraying your own kingdom. You are selling a piece of your soul for cheap approval now. And the price is high. Resentment. When you do something forced, you do it with bad energy. You hate yourself and end up hating the other. Solomon teaches us the royal refusal. The king does not make excuses. The king does not wish to do it, period. Learn to disappoint others before you disappoint yourself today now. Your energy is a limited and sacred resource. You have to invest it in your temple, in your work, in your real family. If you distribute it in little pieces to anyone who asks, you will arrive at the end of the day empty and broken. The no is the guardian of your yes in this world right now. Only when you are able to say no to the trivial can you say yes to the great. Protect your time as if it were gold, because it is. By establishing clear boundaries through the power of your word, You ensure that your vital energy is reserved for the manifestations that truly matter to your sovereign purpose today. The closing of the aura, hermetic technique. You live in an ocean of vibrations. If you go to a mall, a hospital, or a toxic family meeting, you are being bombarded. You need a diving suit. You need to close your field. Here is the seal ritual to do before leaving home or entering hostile territory. Verticality, stand up, feel your spine like an iron rod now. The sphere of mirrors. Visualize that 1 meter from your body a sphere forms. The outer surface is a mirror. Everything from outside, anger, envy, hits the mirror and bounces back to its origin. It does not enter. The inner surface is transparent. Your light goes out and illuminates, but darkness stays out today now. The closing decree. While holding the image, say, I am the guardian of this door. Nothing but love and truth can enter here. My aura is sealed. I am impermeable to low frequency. My peace is non-negotiable. The grey rock. Attitude. If provoked, be boring and neutral. Do not react emotionally now. VANITY diplomatic immunity, detachment. The highest level of protection is not a barrier, it is a frequency. It is the state of detachment. Solomon wrote in Ecclesiastes, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. This is not pessimism, it is defense strategy. If nothing of the external world is really yours, then nothing can really damage you today now. If you lose money, it is just money. You are still the king. If they criticize you, it is just wind. You are still the king. When you attach to things or people, you give them power to destroy you. The sovereign loves and enjoys, but always maintains a reserve of sovereignty, a part of his soul that is never surrendered now. The sancta sanctorum where only God, the I Am, enters. That inviolable inner place is your refuge. When the world burns outside, you retreat to your secret chamber, sit on the throne, and observe the fire without burning. That is diplomatic immunity. You are in the world, but you are not of the world today now. 5-7, the circle of trust, the court. A king is not alone, but neither is he with just anyone. Solomon had a court. He had generals and allies, but there were rings of access. The outer court, the public, social networks, the holy place, friends, partners, the most holy place, the intimates, those loyal under fire today now. The fool's error is letting people from the outer court into the most holy place on the first day. You tell your deepest secrets to someone you just met. You give your heart to one who has not shown courage. He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed in this life now. Protect your environment. If you have to be alone for a time to clean your court, stay alone. The king's solitude is 1,000 times better than the company of rats. By refining your circle, you ensure that the influences surrounding you reinforce your sovereignty, rather than undermining your mental and spiritual peace today. Fifth, the secret of the ring, spiritual authority. Legend says Solomon's power resided in his ring. If they took the ring, he became a beggar. What is the ring? It is not a physical jewel. The ring is the consciousness of your divine identity. It is remembering who you are. When you remember you are a fraction of divinity, you have the ring on right now today. The demons obey. Reality folds. When you forget who you are, when you believe you are small, a sinner or a victim, you have lost the ring. Asmodeus, chaos, sits on your throne and your life collapses. The seal of protection is, ultimately, memory. Remembering at every moment your real status in this world now. No one can humiliate you if you do not accept the humiliation. No one can steal your peace if you do not hand it over. Authority is not requested, it is exercised. Put on the ring every morning. Look in the mirror and say, I have the authority. Reclaim the power of your divine lineage and rule your kingdom today. Nice conclusion, the silent fortress. You have raised your walls, you have closed the cracks. Now your kingdom is safe. Within the walls, wealth can accumulate without fear of being stolen. Creativity can flourish without being trampled by criticism. Love can be given without fear of being bled dry. Do not confuse protection with isolation today now. The gates of your city are there to be opened, but only when you decide to open them, and only for those who bring offerings of peace. Be kind, but be dangerous. Be generous, but be armored. Let your kindness be a choice, not a lack of options. You are now the sovereign master of your own fortress now. Chapter 6. The Living Temple, Your Body and Your Environment. I built a house to the name of Jehovah, covered with gold, cedar, and precious stones, because I knew that the presence does not descend into chaos or filth. But I have seen men who seek power while dwelling in ruinous bodies and sleeping in rooms that look like dens of beasts. Fools today now. They do not understand that the spirit is a gas that takes the shape of the vessel that contains it. Behold the sixth forbidden proverb. Wisdom does not dwell in a negligent body, nor power in a dirty house. Your flesh is the cornerstone. If the stone cracks, the arch collapses. King Solomon is famous for a masterpiece of engineering today now. The first temple of Jerusalem. He spared no expense. He imported cedar wood from Lebanon, brought the best craftsmen from Tyre, and used tons of pure gold to cover the Holy of Holies. Why so much luxury? Does God need gold? No. God, consciousness, needs nothing. But Solomon knew a secret of resonance. High vibration requires quality now. It requires a high-quality container to anchor itself on earth. If you try to discharge a high-voltage lightning bolt into an oxidized and thin copper wire, the wire melts. If you try to discharge divine wisdom and massive success into an intoxicated, weak, and hunched body, the nervous system collapses in this world today. This chapter is not a gymnastics class or a decorating tutorial. It is a treatise on vessel engineering. You are the magician. Your mind is the software. But your body and your environment are the hardware. You can have the best software in the world, but if the computer is full of dust and overheats, the software does not run now. Most spiritual seekers despise matter. They believe the body is a prison or a nuisance. Solomon tells you, your body is the temple, and your house is the extension of your body. If you want to reign, you have to clean the palace. You must prepare the physical structure to withstand the power of the sovereign spirit you are invoking now. Either heresy of neglect, weak body, weak mind. Look around you and you see an epidemic of weakness. Men and women with hunched backs, downward gazes, atrophied muscles, breathing through their mouths, fed with processed junk. The system wants you to be like this. A weak body houses a weak will. It is biological. If your body is inflamed and tired, your brain enters survival mode now. It just wants to sleep and eat sugar. It doesn't want to conquer empires. It doesn't want to think big. Fatigue is the killer of ambition. The initiate understands that his body is his war vehicle. It is not about vanity, having abs for Instagram. It is about energetic functionality. You need a body capable of high voltages today. You need a body capable of holding high voltages of psychic energy. When you perform a ritual of power, when you decree, when you close $1 million deal, an electric current passes through your nerves. If your nerves are weak, you get anxiety, you burn out. If your nerves are made of steel, you conduct the energy and manifest now. If they are forged in training and discipline, you convert energy into reality. Solomon demands of you, strengthen the stone. You cannot be a spiritual king and a physical beggar. Physical discipline is the first proof that you can command yourself. If you cannot order your hand to stop eating cake, how do you intend to order a demon today? The king's posture, the axis of the world. Let's talk about geometry. Posture is not just body language, it is sacred geometry. The spine is your antenna. It is the axis mundi, the axis of the world, that connects heaven, brain, mind, with earth, sacrum, instinct. When you slouch, you break the connection. You lower your head, you compress your heart in your chest now. You tell your subconscious, I am defeated, I protect myself, I am afraid. And the universe treats you as one who is defeated. Dominance hierarchies in nature, from lobsters to wolves, are based on posture. The alpha expands, the omega shrinks. King Solomon sat on the throne with absolute verticality in his presence today now. Shoulders back, chest open, exposing the heart without fear of being hurt. Chin parallel to the ground. This posture sends a chemical signal to your brain. Increased testosterone, lower cortisol. We are in command. Before trying to control your mind, Chapter 1, straighten your back. It is impossible to have victim thoughts now. It is impossible with a king's posture. It is impossible to have king's thoughts with a victim's posture. Architecture determines function. Walk down the street as if you were wearing an invisible cape. Occupy space. That is your first declaration of sovereignty. I am here. I occupy my place in space. I do not shrink before anyone now. First, the altar of sacrifice, the mouth and the stomach. In Solomon's temple, there was a bronze altar where sacrifices were made. In your body, that altar is your mouth. What you put on that altar determines the quality of your energy. The fool treats his stomach like a trash can. He throws in anything he finds: sugar, chemical fat, alcohol, dead food. He builds with rotten bricks now. And then he wonders why his mind is clouded, why he has no energy, why he is depressed. You are building your temple with rotten bricks. The proverb says, "Put a knife to your throat if you are a man of great appetite." Gluttony is not a moral sin. It is a strategic error. Overeating dulls the edge of the mind today in life now. Heavy digestion robs all the blood from the brain to send it to the stomach. A king with a full and heavy stomach is a stupid and sleepy king. Solomon ate delicacies, yes, but he ate life. Foods that contain sunlight, pure water. The king's diet is a high-frequency diet. If you eat death, you vibrate in death today in our world now. If you eat life, you vibrate in life. Treat every meal as an offering. Ask yourself, is this I am going to eat going to build the body I need for my mission, or is it going to destroy it? Be ruthless with what you allow into your blood. Your blood is the river of gold, chapter 4, and it cannot be contaminated by the matrix now. Face the mirror of the environment. As within, so without. Let's leave the body and look at your room, your house, your office. Here the most brutal hermetic law applies. Your environment is an X-ray of your mind. If your room is a chaos, with clothes thrown around, dust, broken things, and messy papers, your mind is a chaos. You cannot have clear thoughts in a dirty environment today now. Physical disorder emits visual noise. It drains your attention. Every object out of place is screaming at you, "Order me." And that exhausts your mental CPU. Solomon did not live in filth. Order is the first law of heaven. If you want to change your life, start by making your bed. It seems trivial, but it is a magical act now. By ordering your physical space, you are ordering your psychic space. You are declaring, "I have dominion over matter." When you clean the dust, you are exorcising stagnant energy. A clean and orderly house allows chi, vital energy, to flow. A dirty house is a magnet for poverty and depression. Wealth loves cleanliness today now. The rule of broken windows. If a building has a broken window and it is not fixed, soon all the other windows will be broken by vandals. Neglect calls for more neglect. If you have a dripping faucet, a creaking door, or a stained wall, fix it today. Those small tolerances for mediocrity tell your subconscious, "I deserve ruin now." Do not tolerate it. Raise your standard. Your house must be your sanctuary, your base of operations. It must inspire power, peace, and beauty in you. By transforming your immediate surroundings into a reflection of excellence, you program your mind to accept nothing less than greatness in every other area of your sovereign life today. The aesthetics of power, beauty, and quality. Solomon covered the temple in gold, not out of greed but for aesthetics. Beauty is not a luxury, it is a necessity of the spirit. Ugliness depresses. Beauty elevates. Modern brutalist architecture, grey and square, is designed to depress you and make you feel like an ant in a hive. The king rebels against ugliness today now. Surround yourself with beautiful and quality things. It is better to have one single gold pen than 20 bitten plastic pens. It is better to have one well-cut suit than 10 old t-shirts. It is better to have a noble wood chair than a cheap foam sofa. The quality of the objects you touch transfers its vibration to you in life now. Touching cheap plastic all day makes you feel cheap. Touching wood, leather, metal, stone connects you with reality and nobility. You don't need to be a millionaire for this. It is a matter of selection. It is royal minimalism. Have few things, but let them be the best you can afford. Let each object be a power talisman today now. The cleaning ritual, purification. In ceremonial magic, before invoking any entity, the magician bathes and cleans the temple. Physical cleaning is a spiritual act. Water washes not only sweat, but the astral miasma that sticks to you during the day when interacting with negative people. Shower with consciousness. Imagine water is liquid light taking weight now. Wear clean clothes. Never wear dirty or torn clothes, unless you are working in the field, mechanics. Clothes are your priestly vestments. What you wear affects how you behave. If you wear pajamas all day, your brain thinks rest, laziness. If you dress like a king, even if you are alone, your brain thinks mission today now. Solomon dressed in purple and fine linen. He dressed for his role. Dress for the position you want, not the one you have. Your image is the first message you give the world before opening your mouth. Let your image say, I respect myself. I am dangerous. I am competent. Your external appearance is the banner of your internal rank now. Sabbath, movement and strength, the young lion. The proverb says, the glory of young men is their strength. But Solomon does not speak only of biological youth, but of youth of spirit. A static body dies. Lymph, the body's sewage system, has no pump. It only moves if you move. If you are sedentary, you rot inside. Literally, the king needs to be physically strong today now. Physical strength gives you a presence that cannot be faked. When you walk into a room and you are physically strong, people perceive it at a reptilian level. They respect you instinctively. Physical weakness invites aggression. The predator always attacks the lame gazelle. Make yourself strong. Lift weights. Run. Learn to fight now. Do not do it to be violent, but to be peaceful. It is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. True peace can only come from someone who has the capacity to do harm, but chooses not to. If you are harmless, you are not peaceful. You are defenseless. Train your body to be a weapon held by your mind today now. Theta, the temple protocol, practical exercise. Your task for this chapter is a purge and reconstruction. The purge. This weekend you are going to take out the trash, take big bags, go through your house. Everything you don't use is broken, is ugly, or brings bad memories. To the trash or donate, be ruthless. Free up space. Feel your mind clear as space empties now. The deep clean. Clean the dust from the corners. Clean the windows to see the world clearly. The altar of the body. Look at yourself in the mirror naked, without judgment, but with truth. Is this the body of a king, queen? If it is not, decree the change. Start a training regimen for love of your power in your life today now. Walk tall today. Correct your posture every time you remember. Feel the gold thread pulling your crown toward the sky. By maintaining this physical alignment, you reinforce your internal sovereignty, reminding yourself with every step that you are the master of your domain and the architect of your own physical and spiritual temple now. Tight conclusion. Matter is densified spirit. Do not fall into the Gnostic trap of hating matter. Matter is the spouse of the spirit. Solomon loved matter. He molded it. He elevated it. Your mission is to spiritualize matter. Make your body so healthy and strong that the spirit can shine through it without resistance. Make your house so beautiful it looks like heaven now. God does not live in dumps. If you want luck, money, and love to visit you, prepare the guest room, clean the house, put out fresh flowers, open the windows, and wait. Because when the temple is ready, the presence inevitably descends. Your external order creates the invitation for divine abundance to manifest today. Chapter 7. The Vanity of Illusions, Radical Detachment. I have climbed to the peak of the highest mountain, and I have drunk the sweetest wine. I have possessed 1,000 women, and I have accumulated gold enough to pave the streets. I have built palaces that defy time, and I have deciphered the enigmas of the universe. And at the end of it all, I sat on my throne today now. I looked at my empire and let out a laugh that frightened the vultures, because I understood the cosmic joke. Behold the 7th forbidden proverb. I have seen everything that is done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and catching winds. The fool attaches to his sandcastle. The wise man builds it with mastery right now. But he smiles when the tide takes it away, because he knows that he is the ocean, not the castle. Welcome to the abyss. Until now, I have taught you to be a king. I have taught you to strengthen your mind, to use your tongue to create reality, to tame your demons for energy, to attract gold and to protect your temple now. You have learned to win the game of life. But a player who wins the game but forgets that he is playing remains a prisoner of the screen. The book of Ecclesiastes, Kohelet, is perhaps the most dangerous and misinterpreted text in the Bible. Religious people read it and see depression. They see an embittered old man today now. They see someone saying that nothing matters. The initiate reads it and sees the red pill matrix. Solomon was not depressed. He was awake. He had reached the end of the material map. He had achieved everything a human being can desire: power, sex, money, wisdom, fame. And he discovered the great secret. None of that fills the void now. None of that is solid. Everything is hevel. I hevel, the smoke and the wind. The Hebrew word that Solomon repeats like an obsessive mantra is hevel. Bibles mistranslate it as vanity, but hevel literally means vapor, smoke, breath, or mist. Reality is hevel. It seems solid from afar. You see the mist on the mountain and it looks like a white wall, but when you get close and try to grab it, there is nothing now. It escapes between your fingers. Your money is hevel. Today it is here, tomorrow a stock market crash or a war makes it disappear. Your fame is hevel. Today they applaud you, tomorrow they forget you. Your body is hevel. Today it is young and strong, tomorrow it is dust in a grave. Your emotions are hevel in this world today now. The anger you feel today will seem ridiculous to you in 10 years. The fool suffers because he tries to treat smoke as if it were rock. He clings, he attaches. He says, "This is mine, and it must last forever." And when the smoke inevitably changes shape or dissipates, the fool breaks. He suffers, he cries in his pain today now. The wise king understands the nature of smoke. He does not try to catch it. He observes it, he plays with it. He enjoys the shapes it makes while it lasts, but he does not cry when it leaves. This is radical detachment. It is not indifference. It is not apathy. It is the ability to enjoy something without needing it to exist now. I have the throne and I enjoy it. If tomorrow I lose the throne, I am still me, because my identity is not in the chair, but in the one who sits. By detaching your sense of self from external objects, you attain an unshakable freedom that no worldly circumstance can take away, for your source of joy is internal and eternal now. Through the paradox of desire, the hedonic treadmill, Solomon performed the largest sociological experiment in history. He asked himself, what happens if I give my ego absolutely everything it asks for? You want women? Here are 700 wives and 300 concubines. You want to know? Here are all the books and science. You want to party? Here is the best wine and musicians 24 hours a day now. You want to build? Here is the temple and cedar palaces. Result of the experiment: the eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear with hearing. It is the hedonic treadmill. The more you have, the more you need to feel the same. The first million excites you. The second is normal. The third bores you today, now. The first woman is a conquest. Number 500 is a formality. Solomon discovered that desire is a bottomless pit. If you base your happiness on getting things, you are condemned to eternal unhappiness, because the moment you get the object, the desire moves to the next object. Satisfaction never arrives. It is always on the horizon now. So what is the solution? Being a poor monk? No. Solomon did not renounce his riches. The solution is to break the link. To have things, but let things not have you. To possess everything, but not be possessed by anything. To understand that happiness does not come from the object, but from your capacity to enjoy, which is internal now. If you cannot be happy with a glass of water, you will not be happy with a lake of wine. The king enjoys the wine, but he does not need it to be happy. That is his freedom. True power is the ability to walk away from any luxury or possession without losing your peace, proving that you are the master of matter and not its servant today. 3D simulation theory, the player versus the avatar. If Solomon lived today, he would tell you, this is a video game. You are not the character you see in the mirror, the avatar. You are the player, the spirit observer, who is dreaming this life. Suffering arises when the player forgets himself and believes he is the avatar. When the avatar is wounded, you scream now. When the avatar loses gold coins, you cry. Wake up. Nothing that happens on the screen can harm the player. Radical detachment is the lucidity of the gamer. You play to win, yes, you strive. You feel the adrenaline. You want to pass the level. But if you lose a life, you don't throw yourself out the window. You restart today now. You know it is a simulation. This perspective gives you a brutal tactical advantage over others. Others play with fear. They are afraid of losing their prestige, their money, their security. Fear paralyzes them. It makes them conservative and boring. You, knowing everything is Hevel, illusion, play without fear now. You play with audacity. You risk because you know there is nothing real to lose. He who has nothing to lose is invincible, and he who knows that everything he has is borrowed actually has nothing to lose. By treating life as a high-stakes play, you navigate challenges with a calmness and creativity that the fearful can never attain today. For you possess nothing, you are a steward. You look at your house and say, "It is mine." You have a deed that says so. Solomon laughs. Yours? Try taking it with you when you die. Yours? Stop breathing for 5 minutes and you will see whose body it is. You possess nothing. Not your house, nor your car, nor your money, nor your partner, nor your children. Not even your body now. Everything belongs to life, to the system God-universe. You are simply a temporary steward. You have been lent a body and resources for about 80 years, if you are lucky. Your job is to manage them well, enjoy them, and improve them. But the day will come when the owner, death, will come to take inventory and ask for the keys today now. When you understand that you are a steward and not an owner, the weight is lifted from your shoulders. If the car gets scratched, it is not your car, it is the car you manage. You fix it and move on. It does not wound your soul. If the money goes, you trust that the owner will send you more resources if you remain a good steward now. Attachment is the illusion of ownership. Detachment is the reality of stewardship. Enjoy the luxury hotel that is life, but do not try to steal the furniture when checking out. This realization allows you to experience the world's beauty with full presence and zero anxiety, as you no longer fear the loss of what was never yours today. V memento mori, the skull on the desk. Solomon's wisest advisor was not a man. It was death. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men. Modern society hides death. It puts on makeup. It puts it in aseptic hospitals. We live as if we were immortal. That is why we waste time on nonsense right now. That is why we endure jobs we hate and relationships that dim our light. Because we believe we have infinite time. Solomon puts a skull on your desk. He tells you, you are going to die. Soon. All of this will disappear. This is not morbid. It is vitalizing. Death is the filter that eliminates the trash in this world today now. Before the face of death, does your neighbor's opinion matter? No. Does the fear of ridicule matter? No. Does failure matter? No. Only what is real matters. Only your mission, your joy, and your love matter. Radical detachment comes from embracing your mortality. If you are going to die anyway, why not dare to live like a king today now? What is the worst that can happen? That you die. You are going to die anyway. Death makes you free. The slave fears death and therefore obeys the master. The king accepts death and therefore obeys no one other than his consciousness. Use the certainty of your end to fuel the intensity of your present and the boldness of your actions now. Find a way effortless action. In Taoism, there is the concept of Wu Wei, no action or effortless action. It is the paradox of doing without doing. Solomon expresses it like this: cast your bread upon the waters, for after many days you will find it. It means acting with generosity and audacity, but detaching from the immediate result in your life right now. Modern anxiety comes from wanting to control the result. You do business and you are obsessed. Will it work? Will I make money? Will they say yes? That anxiety is a vibration of resistance. It blocks the flow. The magician acts, shoots the arrow with his best technique, and then lets go. He detaches from the target today now. If the arrow hits the mark, good. If it fails, good. He will shoot another one. He does not define his value by the success or the error. Interestingly, when you stop being desperate for the result arrives easier. The universe smells your desperation and moves away. It smells your detachment and moves closer right now. It is the law of cosmic flirting. The one who needs the other person less has the power in the relationship. Be the one who needs the world least, and the world will pursue you. By surrendering the need for specific outcomes, you allow the infinite intelligence of the universe to bring you even greater rewards than you could imagine now. Serves the king's laughter, the cosmic joke. When you reach this level of understanding, something magical happens. You recover your sense of humor. You realize that most of the problems of humanity are ridiculous. People fighting over flags, colored cloths. People killing each other for gods they have never seen. People ruining their health to buy things they don't need now. It is an absurd comedy. And you, instead of becoming bitter, laugh. Not a mocking and cruel laugh, but the compassionate laugh of the Buddha or Solomon. The laugh that says, "What a mess they have made for nothing." Seriousness is a disease of the ego. The ego takes itself very seriously. The spirit is playful in his essence today. Angels can fly because they take themselves lightly. King Solomon, at the end of his days, probably looked at his gold palaces and laughed. Toys, he thought, nice toys to learn how to be God. Learn to laugh at your own misfortunes. If you go broke, laugh. Wow, what a difficult level I have set for myself this time now. If they break your heart, laugh. Wow, what a dramatic intensity this movie has. Laughter breaks the density of the matrix. Laughter frightens demons, who are very serious and solemn. If you can laugh at something, you are no longer its slave. Use humor as your shield and your sword to navigate the absurdities of the material realm today. Fay to nothing to lose, invincibility. The most dangerous man in the world is the one who has nothing to lose. Or rather, the one who has realized that you cannot lose what was never yours. If you are not afraid of losing your reputation, you will tell the truth. If you are not afraid of losing your money, you will invest with audacity in your life today now. If you are not afraid of losing people, you will love with freedom without jealousy or control. The control system, society, bosses, elites, works through the threat of loss. Obey or you lose your job. Obey or you lose your freedom. Obey or you lose prestige. But if you have already renounced all that in your mind now, if you have already accepted that everything is hevel, they have nothing to threaten you with. You are unbribable and unblackmailable. You are free. This is the supreme sovereignty, walking through the world possessing everything, but knowing that you could walk out naked into the desert and you would still be a king today. Because you carry your kingdom within you. Your worth is fixed in the eternal core of your being, independent of any external validation or material accumulation. This realization transforms you into a formidable force of nature, a sovereign spirit that commands reality from a place of absolute and unshakable inner security right now. Ties the fire ritual, burning the attachments. To integrate this chapter, we will perform a psycho-magical act of liberation. The list of burdens. Write on a piece of paper the things you are most afraid of losing. My partner, my money, my prestige, my youth. Loss. Visualization. Close your eyes. Imagine the worst-case scenario. Imagine you lose it all right now. Imagine your house burns down. Your account is at zero. You are alone. Feel the blow. Do not run. But then, look deeper. Are you still breathing? Yes. Are you still conscious? Yes. Is the sun still shining? Yes. Do you have your capacity to create? Yes. Realize that you survived the loss of your things today now. Say, even if I lose this, I am. The burning, burn the paper safely in a bowl. While it burns and turns into smoke, hevel, say, all of this is smoke. I enjoy it while it is here. I let it go when it goes. Nothing possesses me. I am free. Release the weight and feel the expansion of your sovereign spirit now. Hex conclusion, the naked king. Solomon enters the world naked and leaves naked. What happens in between is the game. Play hard, build high towers, love with passion, accumulate gold, but never forget that you are a tourist on this planet. Do not take root in the smoke. Your roots must be in the eternal, your I am. You are ready today now. Radical detachment gives you a supernatural lightness. You walk without weight. And curiously, when you do not grab things tightly, things stay with you longer. The open hand can hold sand. The closed hand, fist, makes the sand escape. Open your hand. Let go of control. And you will see how the universe comes to eat from your palm now. Chapter 8. The Mystery of the Queen, the Fusion of Poles. They say the wise man must flee from woman so as not to lose his strength. I say that the wise man who flees from the feminine is only half a man, a king of a sterile desert. The sun, with all its fire, cannot grow even a blade of grass without the moisture of the moon and the earth today now. Behold the 8th forbidden proverb. The king without the queen is a sun without earth. It burns but does not create. Strength, the one, is impotent without reception, the zero. True magic does not occur in the solitude of the throne, but in the abyss of union. King Solomon, at the height of his glory, possessed all a man dreams of today. He had the gold, he had the temple, he had the armies, and he had the demons under his command. But esoteric tradition tells us that his true initiation, the moment his wisdom became complete, was not when he built the temple, but when a woman crossed the gates of Jerusalem, the Queen of Sheba right now. In the Ethiopian texts and in Masonic legend, she did not come just to admire him. She came to test him. She came to challenge him with riddles. She came to see if the great king was only intellect and muscle, or if he had a soul. This chapter is about the mystery of the queen and the fusion of internal poles today now. It is a chapter on spiritual nuclear physics. We live in a dual universe, positive and negative, electric and magnetic, masculine and feminine. Modern society, in its confusion, tries to erase these differences. It tries to make us all equal and neutral. The alchemist knows that neutrality is the death of energy today now. For there to be a spark, for there to be creation, for there to be life, there must be polarity. You must understand how the feminine energy, the queen, works, and how to merge it with your masculine energy, the king, to create the philosopher's stone. This internal marriage is the key to absolute manifestation in your life now. The arrival of the goddess, the challenge. Imagine the scene. Solomon represents the solar principle, logic, structure, law, order, the day. It is the left brain taken to its maximum power. It is the straight line. The Queen of Sheba comes from the south. She represents the lunar principle, intuition, mystery, fertile chaos, the night, the abyss. She is the right brain today now. She is the spiral. When she arrives, she brings spices, aromas, and gold. She brings the sensory. Solomon has the structure, the vessel, but she brings the content, the wine. The incomplete king fears the queen. He fears the powerful woman or his own intuition because they are irrational. They cannot be controlled with logic now. Many men build cynical walls around their hearts and say, women are a distraction, or love weakens. Solomon the master does not flee. He receives her. He accepts the duel of wits. Because he knows that logic without intuition is a cage, and intuition without logic is a swamp today now. To reign over the totality of the universe, you must marry the sun and the moon within yourself. By embracing both, you transcend the limitations of single-mindedness and gain access to a balanced wisdom that allows you to see the hidden patterns of reality and the manifest structures of the world at the same time today now. Taos physics of polarity, electricity and magnetism. To understand the mystery of the queen, we must abandon morality and speak of electricity. In Hermeticism, the principle of gender says, gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. The masculine principle, the king, is electric, is projective, penetrates, gives, orders. It is the one now. It is the seed. Its function is will and direction. The feminine principle, the queen, is magnetic, is receptive, attracts, receives, gestates. It is the zero, the fertile void. Its function is imagination and manifestation. You, regardless of your biological sex, have both principles. But power resides in tension today now. A battery only works if the positive pole is very positive and the negative very negative. If you mix them, it discharges. In your life, you need to know when to be king and when to be queen. The error of modern man is that he has forgotten how to be king and is also afraid to integrate his queen. The result is lukewarm men now, discharged batteries. To create wealth, you need the action of the king, work strategy, and the magnetism of the queen, attraction, visualization. If you only work hard, but do not feel worthy of receiving, you will exhaust yourself and stay poor. If you only visualize but do not act, you will be a deluded dreamer today now. 3. The radar of intuition, the eye of Sheba. King Solomon had thousands of advisors and spies, but the most potent intelligence tool he possessed was intuition. Intuition is the voice of the internal queen. Logic, king, processes past data to predict the future. It is slow and linear. Intuition, queen, jumps into the void and brings the answer now, without analysis now. It is quantum. How many times have you had a bad feeling about a business or a person, but your logic said, "Don't be silly, the numbers add up." You did the business, and it was a disaster. That day the king ignored the queen. The arrogant king believes only what can be measured exists. The queen knows the invisible today now. She knows the invisible is more real than the visible. Solomon learned to listen to the queen. Before issuing a judgment, he consulted with his heart, the magnetic center. If you want to be invincible, you have to awaken your dark feminine side, the capacity to read the air, to feel hidden intentions, to know things today now, to know things without knowing why you know them. That is the radar. A blind king is overthrown. A king with the eye of the queen sees through walls. By trusting this internal compass, you navigate the complexities of power and human relationships with a precision that logic alone can never provide for your kingdom right now. EV Sacred Sexuality, the nuclear reactor. We enter the most forbidden territory, sex. Childhood religions tell you sex is only for procreating. Modern pornography tells you sex is only for discharging tension, friction, and fluid. Both are lies to keep you weak. For Solomon, the author of the Song of Solomon, sex is the divine magic today now. It is the act where the king and the queen fuse to become a creator god for an instant. During the sexual act, a massive amount of electromagnetic energy is generated. The orgasm is not just a pleasant convulsion, it is a portal opening. In that moment of little death, the conscious mind shuts down and the subconscious opens now. It is the most powerful moment to print a decree. The black mage uses sex to bind others or feed parasites. The Solomonic mage uses sex to charge the battery. Retention. If you spill your energy, compulsive ejaculation every day, you empty yourself. You lose the vril. You become docile and manageable today now. Circulation. If you learn to have sex moving energy up the spine, microcosmic orbit, instead of expelling it out, you become magnetic, lucid, and creative. The woman acts as the chalice. The man acts as the sword. When the sword enters the chalice with love and consciousness, the electricity of life is produced now. Do not use your partner as an object of masturbation. Use her as a priestess, and she you as a priest. Look into her eyes, breathe with her. In that union, you can heal traumas, you can conceive million-dollar ideas, you can rejuvenate the body. Alchemical sex is the source of youth, and Solomon's secret of vitality today now. The power of reception, the art of letting oneself be loved. Here is a hard lesson for alpha men and warrior women. You cannot conquer what you are not willing to receive. Many are excellent at giving, working, solving. You are pure king, but you are terrible at receiving. If someone pays you a compliment, you reject it. If given a gift, you feel in debt, you feel guilty today now. You have the muscle of reception atrophied. And if you do not know how to receive, you cut the flow. The queen is the master of reception. She sits and allows herself to be served, not out of arrogance, but because she knows that by receiving, she is allowing the other to give. To be rich, you have to learn to be queen now. You have to open your hands and say, "Yes, thank you, I deserve this." You have to let the universe pamper you. If you are always struggling, pushing, and forcing excess masculine energy, the universe cannot deliver its gifts because you have your fists closed. Relax, open up. Trust is feminine, control is masculine now. You need both. Control your effort, but trust the result. By allowing yourself to be the recipient of the world's abundance, you complete the circuit of manifestation, ensuring that your hard work as the king is balanced by the grace and magnetic pull of the queen, leading to a life of effortless prosperity and fulfillment today now. Fe, the shadow of the queen, the siren and the witch. But beware. Just as there are masculine demons, rage, tyranny, there are feminine demons. If the king is weak, the queen becomes the devourer. It is the archetype of Delilah, who cut Samson's hair strength. It is the siren who seduces you to drown you. It is the strange woman Proverbs warns about. A deep pit is the harlot now. She lies in wait as a thief. This applies both to real women and to your own internal energy. The seduction of comfort. The dark feminine part tells you, don't go to war today, stay in bed, eat chocolate, forget your purpose. If you always listen, you castrate yourself. You become soft and lose your edge today now. Emotional manipulation, blackmail. If you loved me, you would do this. The manipulative victim. King Solomon knew how to deal with these shadows. The secret is, never hand over the scepter. You can love the queen, adore the queen, give her half the kingdom, but you never give her final authority over your mission now. The purpose, the north, is set by the spirit, masculine. If you put woman or pleasure or comfort above your mission, you lose the mission and you lose the woman because she despises a weak king. The Queen of Sheba admired Solomon because he was wiser than her. If he had crawled at her feet, she would have left today now. Keep your axis. Love from verticality, not from submission. By maintaining your sovereign direction, you become a worthy partner for the feminine power, creating a relationship of mutual respect and high-voltage energy that fuels both your personal growth and the expansion of your shared kingdom in this world right now. 7. The alchemical androgyne, the rebis. The final goal of the great work is not to be very macho or very female. The goal is the rebis, the double being, the being who has the strength of steel and the sensitivity of silk, the being who can kill and can cry, the being who thinks and feels in unison. Observe the great geniuses of history, Da Vinci, Tesla, Bowie now. They had an ambiguous quality. They were men, but they had a deep connection with the feminine, intuition, aesthetics, sensitivity. That is what made them great. A 100% masculine man is a cave brute. A 100% feminine woman is a formless cloud of vapor. The mage integrates. Solomon was not afraid to write erotic poetry today now. He was not afraid to write poetry, feminine, or to order military executions, masculine. He was complete. Break the gender stereotypes that limit you. If you are a man, dare to feel, to intuit, to decorate, to care. That nourishes your king. If you are a woman, dare to lead, to structure, to conquer. That protects your queen now. Fated, the ritual of the chemical wedding. To integrate this chapter, you must perform the inner marriage. Visualization. In your meditation, visualize the sun on your right side, masculine, active. Visualize the moon on your left, feminine, receptive. Dialogue. Ask the king, are you tired of fighting alone? Ask the queen, do you feel ignored now? The fusion. Visualize them both approaching the center of your chest. They embrace. They merge into a blinding white light. Breathing. Breathe through the right nostril, sun, imagining heat. Breathe through the left, moon, imagining coolness. Alternate, Nadi Shodhana. This balances the brain hemispheres in your mind today now. The decree. I am the king and the queen. Logic and magic are one in me. I act with strength and receive with gratitude. There is no war in my kingdom. There is union. By sealing this union, you unify your disparate forces into a single, unstoppable current of creative power that manifests your will across all planes of existence now. Dice the vortex of creation. When you achieve this union, you become a vortex. You no longer have to pursue things, king mode only. Nor do you have to wait passively, queen mode only. You become an active magnet. You walk toward your goal, and your goal runs toward you. The encounter is inevitable. That is the state of flow or flux in your life today now. It is the state where effort disappears and synchronicity takes command. It is the state where you build temples without the sound of hammers, as the legend says, using the magic shamir to cut the stones in silence. It is magical action. You become the living center of a reality that reorganizes itself around your perfect balance now. Chapter 9. Time and Opportunity, Rhythm and Cycles. I have seen the fastest runner lose the race, and the strongest warrior lose the battle. I have seen the brilliant man die poor, and the fool grow rich. Is the universe an unjust chaos? No. It is a precision clock that most ignore. The secret lies not only in the force of the blow, but in the instant of impact today now. Behold the 9th forbidden proverb. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. The fool fights against the current and drowns. The wise man waits for the tide, rides the wave, and sails effortlessly to the shore. Imagine two farmers in their fields right now. The first is impatient, anxious, and hard-working. He goes out in the middle of winter, with snow covering the ground, and starts sowing seeds. He works 18 hours a day. He sweats, bleeds, and strives. The second sits by the fire, sharpening his tools, reading, and resting. The world calls the first a hero and the second lazy now. But when spring arrives, the first has no harvest. His seeds died frozen. His effort was sterile. The second goes out on the first day of spring, sows with ease, and by autumn he is rich. Was it luck? No. It was synchronization. King Solomon was the master of timing, the art of time in this world today. In his famous text of Ecclesiastes 3, he left us the binary code of the universe, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up. People read this at funerals as pretty poetry. The initiate reads it as military strategy. The universe is not a static straight line, it is a cycle now. It breathes, inhale and exhale, rise and fall. It is summer and it is winter. If you try to live in an eternal summer, always growing, always winning, always active, you are fighting against cosmic law, and the law always wins. In this chapter, you will learn to stop looking at the clock, Chronos, and start looking at the stars today. You will start looking at the signs, Kairos. You will learn that patience is not passivity, it is a weapon. You will learn to detect the window of opportunity and to jump through it before it closes for good in your life now. Chronos versus Kairos, the clock versus the moment. The Greeks had two words for time. Chronos is clock time, seconds, minutes, hours. It is the time of the slave. I pay you by the hour. You are late. It is linear and devouring. Kairos is God's time. It is the opportune moment. It is qualitative, not quantitative. A single minute of Kairos is worth all now. The moment of the kiss, the moment of the signature, the moment of the shot. It is worth more than 100 hours of Chronos. Modern society has enslaved you to Chronos. Time is money, they tell you. Don't waste time. Produce, produce, produce. This mentality keeps you in chronic anxiety today. It makes you feel guilty if you sit down to think. Solomon operated in Kairos. It was not about how long he worked, but when he acted. A sniper can be motionless for 5 hours. It seems he does nothing. But at the exact second, he pulls the trigger. If he had pulled it 5 minutes earlier to be productive, he would have failed now. Your life is full of failures not due to lack of talent, but lack of timing. You spoke when you should have been silent. You were silent when you should have spoken. You sold when you should have bought. You pushed when the door was closed. To recover your sovereignty, you must throw away your mental clock and start feeling the rhythm today. 2. The wheel of fortune, nothing new under the sun. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. This phrase from Solomon is the basis of economic and political prediction. History does not repeat itself, but it rhymes. Everything is cyclic in our existence now. The economy has cycles of expansion and recession. Relationships have cycles of honeymoon and crisis. Your personal energy has cycles of activity and rest. The fool is surprised when winter, the crisis, arrives. Oh no, what a tragedy! The wise man knows that winter always follows autumn. He is not surprised. He prepares today now. The king uses summer to accumulate, chapter 4, and winter to plan and rest. If you understand the cycles, you become a prophet. You know that if something goes up a lot, it will go down, and if something is down, it will rise. This gives you a supernatural calm. When the world panics over a crisis, you smile now. You say, "This is just the system's exhalation. Soon the inhalation will come. I will position myself for when the tide changes." Never bet against the cycle. Bet with the cycle. By aligning your actions with the natural ebbs and flows of reality, you move with a power that those who resist the cycles can never hope to match now. Threat, the sin of precipitancy, aborting the process. What is the mage's greatest enemy? It is not doubt, it is haste. Haste is a manifestation of fear. Fear that there is not enough time. Fear of losing. Haste is violence against time. When you force something before it is ripe, you kill it. If you open a butterfly's cocoon with your fingers to help it, the butterfly dies now. It needs the effort of coming out alone to pump blood to its wings. If you take the cake out of the oven early, it collapses. Many entrepreneurs and creators fail because of this. They have a great idea, seed. They plant it. A week later, they don't see the tree. They get frustrated today now. They dig up the earth to see if it's growing. In doing so, they kill the seed. Solomon teaches gestation. Everything great requires a time of darkness and silence. A pregnancy lasts 9 months. You cannot have a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. Respect the process of creation in your life now. If you have done your work, sowing, watering, protecting, now your job is to trust. Anxiety does not accelerate the result, it delays it, because it introduces a vibration of resistance. By allowing the natural time of development to pass, you ensure that the final manifestation is strong, stable, and ready for the world today. Faixi Wu Wei, the predator's strategy. There is a concept in Taoism called Wu Wei, action without action, that Solomon understood perfectly. It does not mean laziness. It means action without friction. Observe a crocodile or a lion. They spend 90% of their time motionless, resting, saving energy. They do not run after every fly today now. But when the prey enters their range of effectiveness, bam! The explosion of energy is total, precise, and lethal. That is efficiency. The average human is like a hamster on a wheel. He runs all day, sweats, exhausts himself, but does not advance. He does things just to feel productive in his life now. The king is the lion. He spends time thinking, observing, sharpening the sword of his mind. And when he sees the opportunity, the enemy's error, the market gap, the queen's signal, he attacks with everything. Learn to be still. Strategic immobility is terrifying to your enemies. It builds your internal power today. A man who does nothing but stares at you is much more intimidating than a man who jumps and screams. In stillness, you accumulate power, vril. By mastering the art of waiting, you ensure that when you finally do move, your actions have the weight of an entire mountain behind them, making success inevitable now. Detecting the open door intuition. How do you know when it is time to act? This is where the Queen comes in, chapter 8. You use intuition. The universe sends you signals. When it is not the time, everything is difficult. There is constant friction. Doors close. Emails don't arrive. People say no. You get sick today now. The fool keeps pushing. I am stronger than life. And he breaks his head against the wall. The wise man reads the signal. The door is closed. I wait. And suddenly, the wind changes. An unexpected call arrives. You feel a streak of energy. Coincidences, synchronicities pile up. You feel the click now. That is the kairos. At that moment, you must abandon caution and become bold. You must enter through the door before it closes. Luck is simply being prepared when opportunity arrives. But if you are exhausted from hitting the wall when you shouldn't have, you won't have the strength to cross the door today. Conserve your energy for the critical moment. By staying sensitive to the subtle shifts in the energetic environment, you move through life with the precision of a master navigator, always catching the favorable winds and avoiding the storms that would otherwise wreck your sovereign progress in this world right now. Verse, a time to kill and a time to heal. Solomon is brutally honest in Ecclesiastes. A time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. Modern morality tells us that building and healing are always good, and killing and destroying are always bad. The king knows this is not so in reality today now. If you build on rotten foundations, the building falls. First, you must destroy the old. If you have gangrene, you must kill tissue to save the body. There are moments in your life where you must be a destroyer. Moments to break a toxic relationship. Moments to quit a job that kills you. Moments to kill habits now. Have no mercy in the season of destruction. If you try to heal what must die, you only prolong the agony. Death is the prerequisite for rebirth. Do not fear chaos. Chaos is the demolition stage before the new work. If your life is falling apart right now, rejoice you are in the time to pluck up phase today. Clean the ground, because soon the time to plant will come. By accepting the necessity of destruction, you clear the path for higher manifestations, ensuring that your kingdom is always built on fresh, vital ground, rather than the crumbling ruins of a past that no longer serves your divine purpose now. Aggressive patience. There is an abysmal difference between passive patience, resignation, and aggressive patience, stalking. Passive patience is that of one who waits for God to provide without doing anything. It is the patience of one waiting to win the lottery. Aggressive patience is that of the hunter in the wild now. The hunter is still, yes, but his muscles are tense, his eye is fixed, his breathing is controlled. He is actively waiting, while you wait for your opportunity. 1. Prepare, study, train. 2. Accumulate resources, save. 3. Observe the terrain, research. Solomon took 7 years to build the temple today now, but he spent many more years accumulating materials before laying the first stone. When the opportunity arrives, you cannot say, "Wait, let me get ready." You have to be ready now. Opportunity is a visitor who is bald from behind. She only has hair on her forehead. You have to grab her from the front when she comes now. Once she passes, you cannot grab her. By maintaining a state of high alert readiness during the quiet periods, you ensure that you are never caught off guard, allowing you to seize the pivotal moments of your life with a decisive power that others, who were merely waiting passively, will call miraculous today now. Verset, the rhythm of communication, silences. Timing also applies to the word, chapter 2. In a negotiation, a seduction, or an argument, rhythm is everything. The anxious person speaks too much. He fills silences because they make him uncomfortable. In doing so, he reveals his insecurity and lowers his status. The king uses silence as a pressure tool now. He asks a question. The other answers. The king remains silent. The other feels uncomfortable and starts talking more, revealing information he didn't want to give. Manage the timing. Take time to respond. Don't be a slave to instant messaging. Make yourself desired. Scarcity increases value today now. If you are always available, your time is worth 0. If your access is limited and your times are your own, people will pay gold for a minute of your attention. By controlling the pace of your interactions, you project an aura of self-contained power and mystery that compels others to respect your boundaries and your worth now. Just memento mori, the time limit. Finally, the supreme master of time is death. You have a limited time in this avatar. The clock is running backward. Tick-tock. This should not depress you. It should focus you. You have no time for nonsense. You have no time to hate. You have no time to live someone else's life today now. Solomon at the end of Ecclesiastes says, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not." Use your energy while you have it. The urgency of death gives you clarity. If you had 1 year left to live, what would you do? What would you stop doing? Act accordingly now. Well, act as if you had 1 year left, because no one has promised you that you have more. Procrastination is the arrogance of believing you are immortal. By living with the constant awareness of your own end, you strip away the trivial and the false, leaving only the pure gold of your sovereign mission and joy today. The synchronization ritual. To align your internal clock with the cosmic clock, practice this. Observation. For 3 days, force nothing. Just observe. When do you have more energy? When are people most receptive? Which doors open by themselves? Stop rowing and feel the current. The sacred pause. Before every important action, stop for 10 seconds now. Breathe. Ask your body, your compass, is now the moment? If you feel contraction, wait. If you feel expansion, act. The decree of time. Say, I am not a slave to the clock. I am the master of the moment. My time is perfect. I am not late or early. I arrive when I must. I know how to wait like the lion today. Chapter 10. The Lion Heart, Courage and Legacy. I have seen wise men who, out of fear, silenced their truth and died forgotten. I have seen strong men who, out of fear, did not cross the threshold and died poor. It is useless to have the treasure map if your legs tremble when you take the first step. Knowledge without courage is just a file in a dusty library today now. Behold the 10th forbidden proverb. The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a young lion. The world steps aside when it sees a man pass by who knows where he is going and who is not afraid to walk alone. The symbol of the tribe of Judah, the lineage of Solomon, is the lion in this world now. It is not the sheep. It is not the dove. It is the supreme predator, the king of the jungle. Why? Because the lion represents manifested sovereignty. The lion does not ask permission to eat. He does not apologize for occupying space. He does not need the pride to validate his existence. The lion is. His presence orders the chaos now. You have traveled a long way in this grimoire. You have learned to control your mind, your tongue, your demons, and your money. But there is one last wall that separates the initiate from the master: fear. Fear is the final guardian of the treasure. It is the three-headed dog Cerberus that guards the gate of the underworld today now. Most people reach the gate, see the dog, get scared, and turn around. They return to their mediocre lives saying, "It wasn't for me," or "It's too risky." The Dark Solomon tells you, fear is not a stop sign. Fear is a signal that you are before something important. What you fear most is almost always what you must do today now. The anatomy of cowardice. The wicked flee. Let's analyze the proverb. The wicked flee when no man pursueth. Who is the wicked in the esoteric code? It is not the atheist. It is the unaligned. It is the one who has betrayed his own soul. The coward lives in a state of constant paranoia. He is afraid of losing his job. He is afraid of his partner leaving him today now. He is afraid of getting sick. He is afraid of the neighbor's opinion. No one is physically pursuing him, but he runs. He runs from the truth. He runs from his potential. He lives in a mental prison built with the bricks of security. Security is the most expensive drug in the world. You pay with your dreams for a dose now. The system sells you security. Obey, study, work, retire, and die quietly. The king knows that security is an illusion. Life is, by definition, insecure. A meteorite could fall tomorrow. An invisible virus can kill you. To seek security is to seek death in life. The lion does not seek security. He seeks freedom in this world now. Tous, the virtue of dangerousness. Modern religion has castrated the masculine figure and feminine force by selling the image of the Lamb of God as the only way. Be meek, turn the other cheek. Solomon reminds you that God is also the Lion of Judah. An inoffensive man is not a good man. He is a useless man. If you are unable to be dangerous, you are weak now. If you are incapable of being dangerous, your pacifism is not a moral choice, it is a lack of options. You are peaceful because you are weak. That has no merit. The true king has a lion heart. It means he has fangs and claws. He has the capacity to destroy, to defend his territory, to say no with violence if necessary today now. But he chooses to keep that strength under control, the brass vessel. That is meekness, power under control. You need to recover your capacity to be dangerous. You need the world to know that if you are stepped on, you will bite. Interestingly, when the world knows you have teeth, it stops stepping on you in your life now. Thrid, fear as a compass, cold fire. Do you think King Solomon, when summoning demons or facing enemy armies, did not feel fear? Fear is biological. It is adrenaline. The difference between the coward and the brave is not that one feels fear and the other does not. Both feel the same: the racing heart, the tight stomach, the sweaty hands in this world today now. The difference is interpretation and action. The coward feels fear and says, "Danger, I must flee." He interprets adrenaline as a signal to retreat. The brave feels fear and says, "Energy, I am ready." He interprets adrenaline as fuel for the battle. Solomon used fear as a compass. If a decision does not scare you, it's small now. If it does not scare you to launch that project, you are playing in the small league. If it does not scare you to say, "I love you," or "I am leaving you" to that person, you don't care enough. Fear indicates where the growth is. Go toward the fire. Fire purifies. What burns is your false ego. What remains is your gold today now. The solitude of the Alpha, walking alone. The proverb ends by saying, "But the righteous are bold as a young lion." Observe nature. Sheep always go in a flock. They huddle together. If one separates, it panics. Its security is in numbers, in the anonymity of the mass. The lion walks alone or with his select pride. He does not need approval from zebras now. To have a lion heart, you must accept the solitude of command. The moment you decide to be sovereign, chapter 1, you will separate from the flock. Your old friends, those who vibrate in complaint and mediocrity, will feel uncomfortable with you. They will call you arrogant, crazy, or ambitious. They will criticize you today now. Remember, sheep always bleat when the lion passes. It is not hate, it is fear. Your freedom reminds them of their slavery. Do not go down the mountain to explain yourself to the sheep. They will not understand your language. Keep climbing. At the top, the air is thin, but the view is spectacular, and the company is of kings now. The legacy, building for eternity. Why did Solomon build the temple? He knew his physical body was going to die. The fool lives for the weekend. The mediocre lives for retirement. The king lives for eternity. The lion heart does not beat only to pump blood. It beats to leave a mark on the stone of history. Physical death is inevitable in our life today now. But there is a second death, oblivion. It is said you die twice, once when your heart stops and once when someone says your name for the last time. The Major's goal is to postpone that second death indefinitely. That is legacy. What are you going to leave here? A building? A book? A business? An idea that changes the world now? If your life is only about consuming oxygen and food, you are a tourist in existence. Solomon demands us to be architects. Your life is your material. Your work is your monument. Stop thinking about surviving the month. Start thinking about what will remain of you in 300 years. Long-term vision gives you skin of steel today now. Found audacity, the magic of movement. Goethe said, "Audacity has genius, power, and magic." Solomon knew it. The universe has a weakness for the bold. It seems to step aside to let pass those who walk with determination. When you doubt, the world puts obstacles in your way. When you advance with absolute certainty, the doors open by themselves in your life now. There is an apocryphal story of the Queen of Sheba presenting two identical flowers to Solomon. One real and one artificial, so perfect the human eye could not tell them apart. She challenged him to choose the real one without touching it. Solomon did not hesitate. He ordered the windows to be opened. The bees entered today now. The bees went straight to the real flower. Solomon smiled. The audacity to open the window, changing the context using nature, solved the problem. When in doubt, error through action can be corrected. Error through inaction is paralysis and death. It is better to ask for forgiveness than permission. Take the world now. Service, death as an advisor, the final roar. To have a lion heart, you must make peace with death. Samurais meditated every morning on their own death. By accepting their death in advance, they went to the battlefield without fear. They were already dead, so they could only win. If you are afraid to die, you are manipulable. If you accept it, you are unconquerable now. No one can threaten a man who does not fear losing his life. Will you kill me? You will only free me from the body. My name will remain. That attitude is maximum power. Live each day as if it were your last day of reign. Would you leave things unsaid? projects half done, you would roar. You would love with fury and passion today now. Face the power of the voice, the roar. The lion does not always need to attack. Sometimes he only needs to roar. The roar is pure vibration. It paralyzes the prey. Your voice, Chapter 2, must be connected to your heart, Chapter 10. Many speak from the throat, intellectual. Their voice is thin, it doubts. The king speaks from the chest, from the gut today now. When you speak, let your voice carry the weight of your truth. Do not justify yourself, do not hesitate. Do not end sentences with a questioning tone seeking approval. Speak with a period. The roar is the acoustic manifestation of your will. If you believe in yourself, your voice will become deeper, slower, and more resonant now. Touch the ritual of the Lionheart. This is the final preparation exercise. The posture. Stand, legs apart, chest open. Occupy maximum space. The inhalation. Breathe deeply, imagining you inhale golden fire. The transformation. Visualize your human heart dissolves. In its place, a solid gold heart appears, pumping liquid light in your body now. Visualize your face transforms into that of a lion. Feel the mane, feel the fangs. The roar, the ki. Emit a sound from the belly. A deep and vibrant aha or Push the fear out. The decree. I do not flee, I face. Fear is my fuel. Death is my advisor. I walk alone if necessary. I have the king's heart. My legacy is eternal. Conclusion, the coronation. The echo of the last word is fading away. Soon there will be silence, and in that silence you will find yourself alone again. Do not look to the sides searching for the master. Do not look for more books, nor more audios, nor more guides. The time of instruction has ended. The time of reigning has begun today now. You have passed the 10 gates. You have entered Solomon's treasure chamber and taken the tools denied to the masses for centuries. You have the mental throne to rule your internal chaos. You have the tongue of fire to decree your reality. You have the demons working in the cauldron of your passion right now. You have the alchemy of gold flowing into your pockets. You have the seal that makes you invulnerable. You have the temple clean and strong. You have the laughter of one who knows that everything is an illusion. You have the queen of intuition by your side. You have the clock of the universe synchronized today now. And you have the Lionheart to never retreat. Now you face the final truth, the hardest and most glorious of all. No one is going to come and put the crown on you. The world does not give away crowns. The world gives away chains. Society wants you to remain a gear, a consumer, a scared sheep who pays taxes now. They want you to die in silence. No one is going to knock on your door to tell you, you are ready now, take your power. If you wait for permission, you will wait until the grave. In the ancient tradition of the Magi kings, coronation is an act of self-proclamation. It is an act of violence against inertia today now. You must raise your hands, take the invisible authority that floats above your head, and place it yourself upon your temples. Feel its weight, because it is heavy. The crown is not a party ornament. It is made of iron and gold. Wearing it means accepting radical responsibility in your life right now. From this second on, everything that happens in your life is your creation. If you are poor, it is your creation. If you are rich, it is your creation. Whether you are alone or accompanied, sad or happy, it is your work. You can no longer blame the government, your parents, your partner, or bad luck today now. The king has no excuses. The king has results. Does it scare you? It should scare you. If it did not scare you, you would not be understanding the magnitude of the pact. But that fear is the sign that you are alive. The slave lives safely in his cell. The king lives dangerously at the summit today now. But the view from the top is worth every drop of blood. Look at your hands. They are the hands of an architect. The world out there, your job, your bank account, your relationships, is soft clay. It is waiting. It is waiting for you to stop asking it for things and start ordering it into forms now. It is waiting to hear the voice of command. Do not leave this audiobook being the same person who entered. Kill the old man. Bury him here, in the silence of this end. Let the child who asked for approval die. Let the victim who cried over injustices die. And let the sovereign be born in your soul today now. Go out there. Walk with your back straight as if an invisible plumb line connected you to the sky. Look people in the eye, not with arrogance, but with the calm of one who needs nothing because they have everything inside. Speak less. Do more. Be a mystery. Be a force of nature in this world right now. Build your temple. Leave your mark. Make your life so magnificent, so bold, and so full of vril that even death, when she comes to find you many years from now, stops for a moment to admire your work before taking you. The grimoire is closed. The seal is broken. The magic is you today, now.